Hello and welcome back to the Watford Way today for another live match watch along for Hull City versus Watford. And I'm delighted to once again be joined by Cal. Cal, how you doing today, buddy?
You're not too bad yourself?
I'm all good. I did a 5K run earlier today as well. I believe I hit my personal best in regards to that as well. So very, very happy with that, although I am quite sweaty now. But yeah, went on a 5K run earlier. And hopefully Watford will redeem themselves after what was a very woeful performance against Cardiff City, Cal.
Definitely, it was an absolutely abject performance against Cardiff, but a 3-1 defeat against a team that's so far below us in the league. And now I really worry for what happens for the rest of the season, seeing that performance. We play like that, we're going to get dominated today. So hopefully we can see a better performance, and hopefully we can see people that put in the effort like you did, putting in a 5K run on the pitch.
Yeah, you know what? I've not been on the 5K for a long time, actually, and it's just nice to get outside. The weather was nice this morning. But yeah, Watford, clearly this season has been a disaster. By the way, if you are just tuning in, this game is not televised in the UK today because of the stupid EFL broadcast regulations, which means myself and Cal can't officially watch the game. However, people abroad in America and so on can watch as well. So it's a bit frustrating, but we'll keep you up to date as much as we can. There's loads of Premier League games and, of course, other Championship games going on as well. As me and Cal discussed before the stream, Wrexham are playing later. Obviously, former Watford player Ben Foster could get promoted with Wrexham. And at Wembley this afternoon as well, Manchester City take on Sheffield United in the FA Cup semi-final. And it wasn't long ago, Cal, since Watford were in the FA Cup semi-final. And obviously we reached the final under Javi Gracia. And that's kind of where it peaked really for Watford, wasn't it?
Oh God! If you bring out to that, I'm gonna start crying. But yeah, no, it was a great experience. I was there. I remember being there. The whole atmosphere was just incredible. One of the best atmospheres I've ever seen in my life. Being to a game, seeing Wembley practically packed out and seeing all the Watford fans come together in unison against City. I mean, the score probably less about that the better, but the whole atmosphere of my time there was absolutely brilliant, and I can't see it happening for a very long time again. But it's always good to reminisce about the good memories that you've had as a Watford fan. Probably not comparing it to the present, but yeah, it was just a very, very good day.
Just shout out for you guys in chat as well. Caden is in chat. Hello, Caden. Hope you're doing well. Daniel Atkins is in chat as well. How are we watching it? Well, at this current moment in time, Daniel, we are unable to watch it. As I mentioned, the match is not broadcast in the UK, so we're keeping up to date in as many ways as we possibly can. And yeah, feel free to stick around and have a chat with us as well. And Harry says, hi guys, how is it going? It's going very well, Harry. Thank you very much. Before kickoff, Cal, a couple of minutes to go until kickoff. We'll briefly run through the team news. I know Chris Wilder mentioned more academy players may feature in the team today. That's not really what's happened. He has made 3 changes though. Christian Kabasele, Leandro Bacuna and Ken Sema coming in, Cal, to replace Hamza Chowdhury, who's sick, and Wesley Hoot and Keenan Davis dropped to the bench. I just want to quickly get your thoughts on Wesley Hoot and Keenan Davis dropping to the bench. Is that deserved for you?
I mean, it's interesting, really, because I think Wesley Hoot, I've seen a few people online saying that he should have been dropped after the game versus Cardiff. Don't know if I partially agree with that, because I think he's a really good counterpart with Porteous. And I think if we continue with that on the season, because they've been together for practically nearly half the season now.
Since January, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, so it's so I think they do make a good counterpart, even though we've been losing games consistently with them as the 2 backline. I think they're probably our 2 most confident defenders at the back. Kabasele, I've seen a lot of people giving him some stick online, saying why the hell is he in the starting 11? Because he's been abject with it since he's played for us last time, and he's not come on in a few games time as well. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on, how hard he's been training, to see if he can, get a mainstay in the place and Wilder's team. And in terms of Davis dropping to the bench as well, who's the? I'm now looking at the squad here. Who's he came on for?
So it looks like the front 3 is going to be it'll be Joao Pedro, Ken Sema, and Ismaila Sarr, I presume. So Sema on the left, Pedro up front, you'd think, and then Ismaila Sarr on the right. And Watford just have kicked off, by the way, through Leandro Bacuna. So they've kicked off at the Hull City Stadium.
I mean, it's interesting because I think with Ken Sam, you're always going to get 100% effort from him because you can tell he's one of the very few players that has passion for the club. And I think with Keenan Davis moving to the bench, it's an interesting decision made by Chris Wilder. But it's all about experimenting now because let's face it, we're not getting playoffs. We're going to stay in the Championship for another season. It might as well just try things while we can to see how well they experiment. And hopefully it becomes a bit of a success. And
yeah, you surprised to maybe not see a few more academy players on the bench? I know there were some rumours about Adrian Blake potentially featuring today. Jack Reese, Toby Adeyemo. Adrian Blake's probably a bit of a different one because he's been linked with, I think, Tottenham and Man United, so his head might not quite be at Watford. But I was expecting to see a few more academy players on the benches, which is a little bit of a shame. Quickly speaking about Hull City, Ozan Tufan starting for Hull, Cal. Do you remember him from Watford?
Yeah, I do indeed. Yeah, it's I recall you saying to me literally just before the stream about what he said coming up towards the Watford game, saying that whilst at Watford he didn't have many friends, but then going to Hull now he's going out with meals with teammates, it brings it back, and it reminds to me how much of a team we kind of have of individuals at the moment. It's really, really sad.
A couple of messages in chat we'll go through now. Caden says, we need to get a result today, otherwise we have no chance of playoffs. So I think that chance has gone anyway, Caden. Happy Hoot was dropped. He was so bad. I do agree with that. I think Cal probably agrees with that as well. I think for the bicycle kick goal Cardiff scored, I mean, that was dreadful defending, wasn't it, Cal?
It was awful defending. I think, to be fair, for all three goals, to have them in such quick succession, it just says something about our defence and how bad it really was in that game. So I'm very glad, there's been a bit of a refresh in defence. Being in Cavacelle, he is a bit of a cult hero, the local man. But hopefully, he can put in a solid shift today against, where are Hull in the table? I think they're 19th last time I checked, right?
Yeah, again, we're coming up against a side 15th. Who, I think they might be 16th, 17th, something like that. Again, it's a side that you'd think Watford would be able to beat. But how many times have we said that this season? We played Hull back in, I think it was December, and we drew them 0-0. And I remember the day very, very well because it's a cold winter's day. I was freezing cold. It was absolutely freezing in the stadium. I hated it so much. Probably the worst game of football I've ever watched. It wasn't very good last time out against Hull. But again, Cal, a championship game, nothing to play for both sides. And actually, we've only got, 3 games left of João Pedro in a Watford shirt potentially. What are your thoughts on that? Are you expecting him to move in the summer? Because clearly for me, he's been the stand-up player this season, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, has been. He's been our saving grace the most times in games. And I was actually having a conversation with this with a fan on my Hornets House account, and they were basically saying, will Pedro stay? I mean, I know there's been links with Newcastle to him, as there were last transfer window, where it's practically almost a done deal confirmed by Fabrizio Romano until Pedro came out saying he wants to stay at Watford somehow. And then obviously Milan, I think, is sniffing around as well for him. I mean, Champions League football, I think they're doing quite badly this season, so they won't be getting Champions League football. But, just the whole prospect of joining Milan, an absolutely historic club.
On Milan quickly, it was interesting because I think during the March international break, Pedro actually went on like a holiday to Milan, if you will. I think Andrew French said, don't read anything into it. But, journalist links Pedro with Milan. He then travels to Milan on holiday. Of course, fans are probably going to link that to a potential move, aren't they?
Exactly. I think many people got worried. I think of the whole prospect of that, moving to a team, or if you're in their city and you're on holiday there, and that's of course going to freak fans out because what on earth are you doing there, especially when you're being linked there. So hopefully I reckon. But what I said to the fan was, I reckon if we focus a large portion of our transfer window, trying with all our might to keep him at the club, I reckon we can do it. I know it's going to be extremely hard because he's a young prospect. He's kept us alive in this championship race for the whole season, essentially. He's been our stand-up player, like you said there. But I reckon, if we hold on to him, we'll do very well next season because I think he shows, he runs defenders into the ground. He's a really hard worker in the team. And it shows he has passion and desire at the best of times. However, if he does go, I wouldn't really take him for anything less than, I'd say 35-40 million. I genuinely think he is worth that much. I mean, I don't think he will go for that much because we all know the Pozzos and their transfer negotiations is worse than anything in the world. But I genuinely think he's worth that much. He's a young prodigy. He's still in his teenage years, I think. So he's still got plenty more years to go. And performing at the second tier of English football at the level he is, and he's absolutely practically carrying an attack of a football team at the moment. It just shows how much talent he has and how much he'll thrive. For example, in the Premier League, he's played in the Premier League, he's tried it before, and he's been tried and tested. He's scored goals in the Premier League before against some big opponents. We're talking about Manchester United. We're talking about, I think he also got a few against Liverpool as well. You know, he's a real talent for us, and I think he could do really well.
A few updates from the Watford game at the moment. Watford seem to be dominating possession. Ryan Porteous ventured forward in the opening minutes of the game, trying to break through, and Hassan Kamara went on a run as well. Hull City have just recently had a chance as well, but Christian Kabasele blocked the shot. So it seems very even in the opening 6 or 7 minutes in the game. A few comments to read out from chat as well. And Adam Tomlinson says, "How are you doing, lads?" I'm doing very well, Adam. I don't know about Cal, but I assume he's having a fantastic day as well.
Not been too bad. Not been too bad at
all.
He
says, "Please talk to Cal about rumours of the Italian manager Francisco Farioli." I'm not sure if you've seen this, Cal, but it was reported in the media. And basically going on to say he learned from De Zerbi. He was obviously the current Brighton manager as well. I did see the Farioli links. Me personally, I'd never heard of him in my life. Like a lot of Watford managers, we get linked to. They tend to be from other countries. I've never heard of them. Bilic, Wilder, and Rob Edwards I've heard of, but Francisco Farioli I've never heard of. What are your thoughts on that link? Is that quite interesting to you? I think Ben Manga, in a recent interview he did with Andrew French, has kind of discounted that. But I suppose it's positive that potentially we are looking at our options at the moment, Cal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just as soon as I saw that comment, I started researching about him because I know I saw we had some links to him, but I wasn't fully sure really who he was, to be honest. And I look here, and it said that. Well, I'm having a look on Wikipedia, which isn't the most reliable source, but it's the best I can really find about him. I can see he's practically his only real jobs in management have been for 2 Turkish clubs. It's been for, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the clubs because I know I'm going to butcher it. But the last team he managed for 2 years was at Alanyaspor, and I think that ended just this year. So
I mean, he's quite young. I think he's a similar age to Rob Edwards, actually.
Yeah, he's 34 from what I can see here. But the only reason why I wouldn't be so convinced about him, I haven't really seen him or what he did at Alanyaspor, but I can see here the only real experience he's had, not only in management, but just for his whole time as after retiring, is basically being a goalkeeping coach. Literally since from 2009 to 2020, he was a goalkeeping coach and an assistant manager for the likes of Benevento, Sassuolo, Alanyaspor. He was an assistant there back in 2020. He managed the Qatar under-17 squad. So exactly, so it's an interesting mix of clubs that he's worked with. Management-wise, I don't know how well he's done there. I mean, the Turkish league is still quite competitive. You know, you've got Galatasaray, Besiktas. There's some Champions League level teams there in that division. So hopefully, if I do some more research about him, he's actually done quite well. I can see here, Alanyaspor from the 31st of December 2021 to 27th of February. So it's actually quite recently that he left the club. His win ratio
Quick
there
update from the Watford game, by the way. João Pedro fires over the bar from a Ryan Andrews cross. So Watford getting closer, and it seems like we're dominating possession in his opening few minutes as well. Sorry to interrupt you there, Cal.
It's fine, no worries at all. So yeah, I can see. So from 2021 to 2023, he's had 48 games played with 20 wins, 12 draws, and 16 losses. That's a 41.67 win percent ratio. As opposed to Chris Wilder, how well do you think he'll do if he was to come to a massive step from the Turkish league to the Championship? I know the Turkish league is known to be quite aggressive, and so is the Championship. So how well do you think he would make if he was to make that move?
I've got no idea whatsoever. I mean, I'm as in the know as you are really on this one. I mean, I think he's probably a bit too young for me. I know Caden said in chat we need to appoint Ralph Hasenhüttl, who is obviously clearly a more experienced manager. He's done, I think he did very well at Southampton. I think they were probably, too quick to sack him. But appointing a 34-year-old manager, and that's his first job that he's just had, Cal, is it?
It's his second job. The other job that he did was manage oh god, I can't even pronounce that. I'm sorry. It's a Turkish club,
Right.
and he managed them for how much is that? It's about 9 months from March to December.
I mean, I know Lou Orns on Twitter, who's a really good Twitter account, by the way. I know he likes him very much. But for me personally, a 34-year-old manager, we appointed Rob Edwards, who was quite young anyway, and they got rid of him within 9 or 10 games. So I don't think it's potentially the right move for Watford. Ralph Hasenhüttl, someone like that, I think would be quite good. But again, is it going to get harder and harder, Cal, to attract these high-profile managers? Because Ralph Hasenhüttl is, for me, a great shout to come into Watford. But there'll surely be other clubs in for him who are actually in the Premier League at the moment, you'd think, as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we should actually stick with Chris Wilder. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's a controversial choice, but I think, obviously with the alternation of managers that we've had so much, I think it's better if we really stick with someone and properly back him, especially coming towards the end of the season now. If we can have a full season under Wilder, because I've seen that he's a real fan of playing the youth, as we've seen. Just to give Ryan Andrews a chance over the likes of João Ferreira. I'll try that again. João Ferreira and Ngakia. Yeah. He's done really well so far. I can only suspect he'll probably play people. If we do lose Hal Pedro and Sai in the summer, we can probably see the likes of Adiemo shining through. We can see Adrian Blake, if he does get a chance as well. Hopefully he can really do some magical things in the Championship, because we both know they're two really talented youngsters that could hopefully really break the barriers for us. In terms of Hasenhüttl, yes, he's a very, very good manager. He's Premier League proven. He's done very well with Southampton. I do agree with you there as well, saying that I think it was very early for him to be sacked from Southampton, because I think
then they went and hired Nathan Jones, and we know how that ended, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's from Luton, so I'm not surprised. But I think Hasenhüttl is out of the job at the moment. He's currently not got a managerial role to his name. So in the future, if there's a dreadful run that we go on and Wilder does falter in form, we could maybe give Hasenhüttl a chance, but for now,
Wilder's contract expires end of the season anyway, so yeah, I think that's a whole nother discussion for another day, really. But
I think it's gonna be interesting to see who we do bring in. I don't know if so it is for this contract with Wilder. I didn't actually really read it properly. So is he staying till the end of the season and that's it, or can we?
Yeah, so he obviously come in after Bilic got sacked. And the Watford website, they didn't really say the length of the contract. They just said until the end of the season. And then Ben Manga recently did an interview with Andrew French that came out, I think, yesterday or the day before. And he basically discounted any links with any other managers at the moment and just said they're backing Chris Wilder until the end of the season. And then they'll kind of reassess from there. So from everything I've read, from what Watford have said officially, Chris Wilder's got a short-term contract until the end of the season, so 3 more games. And I suppose from there we'll find out who our new manager is. Whether they make the decision like that and we find out within a few days, or whether they take a month to decide, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's interesting. Quick score updates from the Premier League and the Championship while we're at it. Crystal Palace, Everton 0-0, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest 0-0, Brentford, Aston Villa 0-0, and Wolves 1, Leicester City 1. And currently, all the Championship games, from what I can see, are 0-0. There's 8 Championship games going on at the moment. Big games at the top and big games at the bottom. Wigan facing Millwall, Birmingham facing Blackpool, obviously Watford facing Hull at the moment. And Burnley facing QPR. And Burnley, have been absolutely superb this season.
Can I just say as well quickly, a huge thank you to everyone in the chat. We've got 12 people in the chat, which is a monstrous number. So a huge thank you to them. And also as well, me and you were deliberating, obviously. It's your main goal to reach 700 subscribers. Yeah. And I can report now, and from Legend the Games is what he's put in the chat as well, you are 1 away.
Wow.
700.
Well, my main goal is to hit 1,000, but I'm doing it like 100 at a time.
So each one side at a
then
time.
We'll get 800, then 900, then 1,000.
I just want to quickly remind Yes, I was going to remind everyone, if they haven't subscribed already, make sure you do subscribe. It's a great channel. I can vouch that myself. So he's worked extremely hard for this, and I know that he definitely deserves 700 subscribers by the end of today. If we can hit that, that'd be brilliant.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll see a Watford victory as well. Let's see if I can get any updates from the Watford game. I'm just reading the Watford FC live blog, actually, and they say not a huge amount to report from the last few minutes. Both teams enjoying spells of possession without creating many chances. A couple of niggly fouls. Not sure this is going to be a classic. So from what I've been reading on Twitter and via the live blog, it doesn't sound like a very entertaining game at the moment. Adrian Blake did actually travel with the squad, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
However, he's not on the bench, which I do find quite interesting. But it's good to see he's travelled with the squad anyway. I really hope he signs that professional contract. I watched the under-21s on YouTube the other day facing Birmingham City, and he was by far the standout player. He scored 2 goals in that game. If I can get time on Monday, they're actually playing at Vicarage Road, free to season ticket holders for attend. So hopefully, if I've got the time, I can attend that as well. But yeah, the current crop of academy players, Cal, talking about Toby Adeyemo, Jack Greaves, Ryan Andrews, of course, who's starting in the match today as well. James Morris, if you count him as an academy player, we've got a really good crop coming through at the moment, haven't we?
We do, yeah. It's actually it's surprising because we aren't really renowned for having that many talents in our youth system. But to see they've really been given a chance and they've come through, for example, we've still got Shaq Ford as well on loan on York City at the moment. He's been banging in them goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely forgot about him. He's doing really well, actually, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing really, really well, yeah. And I think if we could see, a combination, maybe in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, we can give them both a chance if he does come back on loan. Shaq Ford and Adeyemo up top, I think that could be a really electric duo, to be fair. So, I'm excited to see what our prospects hold, especially if we can, if we do get in a manager, if Wilder isn't permanent, to see if they can really utilise the youth, because it's shown that Ryan Andrews is excelling in the position at the moment. I know that he'll get stronger every game that he plays. So
4 games in a row, Ryan Andrews started.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, and it's totally deserved. I think while Hal Ferreira and Ngakia are good backup options, and probably in an ideal world would probably start over him. He's sounded them both out for good reason. He's been absolutely brilliant for us, and I can see him starting many other games with the way he's playing at the moment. So hopefully his form doesn't falter and we can keep him in the squad practically to the end of the season if nothing bad happens to him.
Just realised as well, by the way, I can see a discussion going on in chat at the moment. We never actually did our score predictions, Cal, for this game. We're about 17 minutes in now, so probably a little bit too late, but we'll quickly give them here. I'm not too confident about Watford today after that Cardiff City performance. As I always say, in my heart, I'll predict a Watford 3-0 win, but realistically, Cal, what's this going to be, a 0-0 or 1-1, something like that, a ball draw?
I mean, it's hard to call, really, because, Watford, they disappoint, and on a very rare occasion, they overachieve at the best of times. So it's really hard to call. If you want to go for anything, if you're depending, you have to really think about form in this and how form will affect the result. If you have a look here in the
Hull City actually were, I believe, they were 6 games unbeaten before they just recently lost to Middlesbrough, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I can see here. It only tells you on Google that the last 5 games they've played. So you can see for Hull City they've drawn 3, 1-1, and just lost 1 as the most recent game. I think it may have been against Middlesbrough. And for us, 3 losses, 1 win, and 1 draw. So on paper, you'd probably pip Hull to probably win this, but obviously as a Watford channel, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I reckon Hal Pedro will get 1, and for Hull, it's written in the stars if Tufan gets 1, isn't it? But
you know what? Fair play to Tufan if he scores today. I think he got absolutely. I don't know if you attended any of the games he was at when he was at Watford, Cal, but whenever he put on the Watford shirt, he got absolutely berated by the Watford crowd. I mean, to be fair, he probably, in my opinion anyway, he did look unfit. He didn't look that bothered. But he's doing really well at Hull City, actually. So, fair play to him. A few comments in chat as well. Harry says 1-1. Legend of Games says, I think 0-0. Mark Deshays is in chat. Welcome to the stream, Mark. Hope you're doing well. He says, nice thoughts about Joao, but he'll be leaving unless Ben Manga is very, very persuasive in selling his vision for the future. Also, the Pozzos need money. Absolutely. We've all seen the financial accounts in Watford. I do think it's inevitable that Joao Pedro will leave the club, unfortunately. Quick shout out, by the way, to Brendan. I don't know if you guys have recently watched our latest match day vlog. I think that was at the Bristol City game, Watford 2, Bristol City 0. Brendan gave me this Dutch Hornet sticker. Look at that. Brendan flew all the way over from the Netherlands, and you can see him in our latest match day vlog on the channel. So if you're bored at half time, you've got nothing else to do, go back and watch our match day vlog. And yeah, that's a happier vlog because Watford did actually pick up 3 points in that game. Cal, I'm interested as to when was the last time you actually come to Vicarage Road? So I know you're not actually local to Watford, so it is harder for you to come. Are you planning to come to the last game of the season, or have you just thought, you know what, I can't actually be bothered this season? The atmosphere is toxic. I don't want to be there. How many? What's your situation with Watford at the moment?
Well, to be honest, I think the last game I went to, and just having a look through all our fixtures here, I think it was. I couldn't go to Luton's game. I was devastated about that. I would have gone to that as well.
Oh god, the highlight of this season by far. That was
easily the highlight of the season. Smashing them by 4 goals. That's just, you can't think of anything better. The last game I went to as a Watford fan. I can't actually remember. I'm having a look through all the things. I have been extremely busy, so I can't. I've had to try and prioritise to see, what games I can go to, what games I can't. I definitely will try and attend because I can see it's against Stoke City, last game of the season. So I will try and make time. That's on 8th of May, so that'll be Wednesday, 8th of May. Let me quickly check.
I think that's actually is that the bank holiday weekend for the coronation? I'm not sure.
8th of May, I think. Yes, well, I think the 4th of May is the coronation.
It is a bank holiday Monday, actually. The 8th of May.
Oh, that is true. Then I'll definitely have a look trying to get tickets to final game of the season. Actually, I might actually go to that. So
I can assure you there'll be plenty of tickets available. I don't think a lot of Watford fans will be bothered going to the matches at the moment.
Yeah, I think I'd probably I'd say probably Stoke's the game I go to next. And then hopefully for the 2023-2024 season, if we invest and we do really well, I will of course be attending a lot more games because I will have hope for the season. Hopefully Ben Mangan can work his magic, and if we can push the positives out the door, my God, I'll be going to every game. It's gonna. So
you're purely Pozzo out, are you?
I mean, I think.
Okay.
I mean, it's I'd hate to say it because obviously I want to try and be as positive as I can with the club, but every good run and every good ownership throughout the years, run us through the glory years, everything's got to have an expiration date. I think that's what happens. That's what happened with the Positives now. They're just kind of running the club into the ground. I'd like to get the chat's thought on that as well. Are you Pozzo in or are you Pozzo out?
Well, you know what? Shall I put shall I do a poll in chat actually?
Yes.
To see. So you guys can vote on this poll I'm about to put in chat. I'll put Gina Pozzo in or out, something like that, and you guys can vote in chat. I'm kind of on the fence a little bit. A few weeks ago I was like, get him out. I hate him so much. But then I remember the owner we had before Gino Pozzo in Vicini. He was absolutely, what an awful man he was. So there's clearly worse owners we can have, but I think we can all agree we're going in a very downwards direction at the moment.
I think if you can add in the poll, you have Pozzo in, Pozzo out, and then just add like a middle option, kind of where you'd be like saying not too sure, because I think that's it give an interesting gist as to what fans really think. I can almost picture what most of the fans are thinking, probably a lot more similar to what I'm thinking, but it'd be interesting to see what the full picture of what the fans think.
There we go. The poll's in chat, so make sure you guys get voting on that. Gino Pozzo in or out, or as Cal said, not sure. So make sure you get voting on that, and we'll come back to the poll in a few minutes. The latest from the Watford game seems very, very scrappy at the moment. And I've got some breaking news. Hull City have a penalty. Hull City have a penalty, so Watford could be going 1-0 down here. Hull City with a penalty.
Written and so who do you know who the person who gave it away?
It doesn't say at the moment. That's the only information I've got. We're running on bare bones here, I'm afraid. All I know is penalty to Hull City.
I'm just refreshing Google constantly, second per second, just to see what's happened.
Yeah, it's just inevitable, isn't it? Ultimately, Cal, I think we have to talk about the Watford fans that actually travelled today. Fair play. Fair play to them.
Oh Christ! I've just seen Harry Play's comment. 2 fans Hull's penalty taker.
Oh no! We discussed this, didn't we? It was absolutely inevitable. Ozan Tufan scores for Hull City, by the way. 1-0 to Hull City.
Man, written in the stars, I tell you.
And you know what? You know, we could sit here and get angry, Cal, but I think we're past that now, aren't we? For this season, we've accepted we are shit, really. And yeah, we just need the season to be over, don't we?
Yeah, we really do. I mean, I think probably less seeing Watford the better at the moment. It's really annoying. I've just read in the live text that I'm watching through a live feed that I'm seeing of the game. It was Ryan Andrews that conceded it. Really sad. He's done really well.
Yeah, but you know what? He's been thrown into a difficult situation. You know, if Ryan Andrews was playing in a free-flowing attacking team, you know, I can't blame Andrews for that. We've not actually seen the incident as well yet. But yeah, Ozan Tufan, former Watford player who everyone hated, has scored for Hull City. Hooray!
Literally, I swear to God, the gods are watching upon us, are watching on this stream, seeing what we've discussed, and it's all coming to life.
I've just seen a photo of the Watford away support, by the way, and there's probably a good, 700-800 fans there, probably. So, fair play to everyone who's travelled there. Not a sold out away end, of course, because it is a long way to go, especially given the situation we're in. But yeah, fair play to everyone who made the journey to Hull City today.
Actually, I don't know if I'm going mad, but have Hull got Carl Darlow in goal? That ex Newcastle.
Well, I saw it as Darlow in goal, but I didn't want to go and say it was Carl Darlow just in case I was wrong. I believe he used to be at Newcastle, didn't he?
It is Carl Darlow.
It is Carl Darlow. See, they've got a few recognisable players, actually.
Yeah, I'm just going through their team now. So they've got Darlow in goal. They've got Seri. Is Seri that guy that was like once being scouted by Barcelona? And that?
Yeah. I think his name's João. I can't pronounce it probably. Miguel Seri, I think he used to be at Bournemouth.
Yeah, it's Jean-Michael Seri, I think.
Yeah. We're not good at pronunciations, are we, Cal?
Yeah, we're not. I think it's better to leave it. Right, okay, who else have we got? We've got so they've got Seri, who's very talented at Fulham as well. I mean, he made a shock move to Fulham, obviously, he was being scouted by so many people and moved to Fulham in the end. So interesting call. I recognise that McLaughlin as well. I think he's an Irish centre-back, an Irish number.
Just a bit more on the penalty incident, by the way. No arguments with the penalty, apparently. It was Van Horn who went down for Hull. He was flattened by two Watford defenders as he checked back inside the penalty area. So, yeah, apparently, very easy penalty for the referee to give there. And, of course, it was the man, the myth, the legend, Ozan Tufan. Ozan Tufan.
Oh man, it's just generally Shakespeare couldn't script that any better.
Let's take a quick look at some more comments in chat. And by the way, as we mentioned earlier, please subscribe to the channel. Trying to hit 700 today, so if you could do that, that would be much appreciated. And yeah, Legend of the Game says Tufan is Hull's penalty taker. Andrews conceded it. Harry says anyone who travels to Sunderland next week. Again, a long way to go, Cal. Need to pay rise. Adam Tomlinson says Tufan bloody scored. We know. God.
I can see as well.
Typical Watford, isn't it?
No, it is typical Watford. It's just that's just us in a nutshell. It's kind of sums up our season. It's a microcosm for it. I want to quickly just discuss a comment that I think we have just bypassed by Adam Tomlinson in the chat as well. I'd like to get your thoughts on this because this is all dependent on whether, how Pedro does go in the summer. Sarr will definitely leave. So taking that into account, all the money that will be culminated. Adam Tomlinson put in the chat, who would you like to sign this season? So culminatedly across the squad, who would you like to sign?
Are we gonna go in depth into actual specific players, or are we gonna go positions Watford need to strengthen?
I mean, ultimately, if we have a look at the squad as a whole, we are trying to think of squad depth. So we've practically lost two attackers already.
Yeah, so let's start with that. So we've lost Sarr, Pedro, there you go, right? What's our transfer budget going to be?
I was going to say that, yeah.
Let's say we've got, 20 million, shall we say? Is that too much?
So is that on top of Sarr and Pedro going?
I would say, because we're in so much debt at the moment financially, I would say that's our total budget.
Okay, right, quickly. I will explain that, but I've got to say, congratulations, 700 subscribers.
Come on. Let's try and bypass that as well. Let's hit 701, 702. Let's keep it going. But yeah, thank you very much. I think it was Holly Giles actually who put in chat. She was his 700th subscriber. So thank you very much for that.
Oh man, well, your milestone's been hit within what, like half an hour of the stream. So yeah.
But Watford are losing. Let's come back down to earth.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, can we just calm it down a bit? Yeah.
Let's calm down.
Okay, right. Move back onto that
Yes.
comment then. So yeah. So Simon Pedro go. That's 2 attackers already down. You got to try and think longevity wise. I mean, we've got Adiemo. He's going to stay here for hopefully a few years. I reckon he does warrant a starting spot. You know, I reckon I can see him as a good striker. That's probably a bit of a controversial opinion, but I think
I mean, for me, I'm gonna have to disagree. I mean, he did score that goal, obviously on his debut for Watford, which was a great moment. I think that was against Blackpool, if I'm not mistaken. However, I don't think I've seen him play enough minutes to go, he is the starting striker for Watford. Obviously, in a fairy tale scenario, academy prospect, a Ciordini type figure comes in, scores 10, 20 goals a season in the Championship. We'd love that. But yeah, for me at the moment, I don't think he's the guy just yet.
Yeah, I think every single cameo that he's played in Watford games, I think he's shown he has passion, he has fight. And I think that's really all we can ask for right now as Watford fans. So if he does get a few more minutes under his belt, maybe I would approve the idea of him going on loan. Maybe, hopefully, just trying to get a bit more experience. I mean that alone without a buying clause. I think if we just give him a bit more experience, maybe he can come back here and really replicate that. Maybe to a League One club or just somewhere where he can really utilise his full potential in the English game, so he can come back and there's not that much of a tenacity switch or anything like that. So I think he could really benefit from having that. I think. In terms of who we could buy with the budget, I mean, it's all good, bringing our youth ranks up. But I think in terms of who we could buy, who will really be attracted with us? We're a mid-table to championship club. Who's going to really?
I think we could probably poach a few players from some other championship sides. Bristol City, for example, their left back Jay Da Silva, I really, really like. I know, Hassan Kamara is going to Udinese in the summer, so we need someone else in that position, and he'll be on a free transfer as well. So I think free transfers we have to target. Matt Grimes at Swansea is another person I really like. I just think you need to go to championship clubs. Get players who are about 24, 25. They've never played in the Premier League before, because you want these players to be hungry, and you want your players to want to get to that level. At the moment we've got Sarr, Pedro, Kamara, who have been at that level. Have they got the desire to really get back there? Whereas you bring these hungry younger players in who have never played in the Premier League, I think that's the way to go. Chris Wilder mentioned potentially Cal get that English spine back. I know it's a very classic football saying, the spine's the most important part of the team, but get a good core of English pros in the team. Move the likes of Cleverley, Dan Gosling on, because they're obviously aging players. I think that's the path for me I'd like to go down. Bring in 24, 25-year-olds, experienced professionals in the Championship, very consistent, 6, 7 out of 10s each week. That's probably the direction I'd like to go in. Let me know if you agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think in terms of different areas of the squad, we're talking defence, midfield. We've got to try and think about their culminated age as a whole, because I think we've got people like Cleverley, we've got Gosling. I think who are some really old players in the squad? I mean, Cabaselli's going on a bit, so is Cathcart. We have got some, I guess you could say, deadwood in a sense. I mean, I can't see Gosling, really starting that many games.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so I think the older you get, the more you'll probably consider deadwood. I think that's it's sad, but it's an occurring theme, I think, about many different clubs. So I think if we can really put in a bit of an influx of a bit more youth into the midfield. I mean, we've brought in people like, we've got Aspiller and Kone, of course, but they're quite attacking minded. If we can try, get a few young defensive midfielders. So I mean, Hamza Chowdhury, he'll go back to Leicester. I can't see him.
Yeah, I mean, Hamza Chowdhury, quickly talking about him. Start the season very promising, I think. However, I think as the season's gone on, he's deteriorated. The last few games I've watched him in person, he doesn't look that bothered. He's calling for the ball in positions. The way I would describe it is he's kind of hiding behind players. He's calling for the ball, he's asking for the ball, but it doesn't look like he actually wants the ball. And also, progressively, passing forward is not that great as well. He's a great, last-minute tackler. If there's a player through one-on-one and Hamza Chowdhury is the last player back for Watford, is a great player to have in that situation. However, progressive passes and stuff like that, I don't think Hamza Chowdhury is the man. So I do agree. I wouldn't buy Hamza from Leicester.
I just want to quickly highlight a comment made by Caden Holloman in the chat. He's listed 4 people that he'd want to try and bring into Watford. I wonder if we could quickly get your view on how realistic they are or not. So we've got Cameron Archer from Middlesbrough. First of all, we'll talk about him.
Is that on a permanent or like a loan?
We'll say, if we take into account Pedro and Sargo, we'll say on a permanent.
Right, okay. I'd take Archer, but I really like him.
Okay, we've got Greaves. He's a Hull centre-back, so probably playing against us today. So, do you know much about him?
I don't know anything about him, but if he's really highly rated, then sure, come on into the club.
Happily. I think we'll take anyone at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we've got 2 others, which I think are probably the more unrealistic out of the bunch. Be amazing if we can try and secure them. Hopefully, with Manga's magic, he can bring them in. Bella Kotchap, the young German prospect from Southampton.
But I think that's realistic, but on a loan deal only.
The only reason why I think we could maybe have a chance of getting him on a permanent is because obviously Southampton, they're looking destined to go down now. So, Championship, they'll be with us. It doesn't seem that too much of an unrealistic transfer. And then obviously one that's probably he said that he wants out the club. And he will go to a club that's a bit lower down than the club he's currently at right now. But Kelleher from Liverpool.
Yeah, again, there's been conversations about Bachmann this season. Is Bachmann good enough for a team trying to get promoted? I would say yes, because he's done it before with Watford. He did it under Xisco Munoz. He's played numerous games in the Premier League as well. However, I think, when Watford are under the cosh especially, Bachmann can lose his head at times. We saw that with the incident with his kung fu kick. He kind of just locked. I don't know what happened there. I mean, he completely went ballistic. So Kelleher, I would potentially look to make that move. I probably need to watch a few more games where he's played, but from what I've seen so far, I do like Kelleher, and actually, I think he's trying to break into the Irish first team at the moment as well. So yeah, I definitely look to make that move. So yeah, but again, probably that when you look at Premier League clubs, you're more likely looking at loan options than permanent deals. But yeah, potentially.
No, brilliant stuff. Really, I do agree with most of your points you made there. Got another comment from Secede, I think that's how you say your name. I do apologise if that's wrong. Saying, the reason why I want Farioli as manager, the manager that we discussed earlier on in the stream, is his style of play is good and low blocks and his antics are good like De Zerbi's. So he has a similar style to De Zerbi, obviously De Zerbi smashing it at Brighton. Do you think we really need that bit of a refreshing style?
You know what? I like De Zerbi. If he's like a De Zerbi clone and he's exactly like him, then come on in. And by the way, it looks like we've got an Ozan Tufan.
I was about to mention that. Oh, don't rub it in, man. Don't rub it in.
Oh, dear. Yeah, Ozan Tufan scoring against Watford. How ironic. But yeah, if he's like De Zerbi, I like what I've seen with De Zerbi at Brighton. Great, looks like a great guy, great manager. And Brighton is really what Watford should be trying to work towards at a club, a sustainable club, bring players in for, very low fees, find them all around the globe, Ecuador, Colombia, wherever it may be. Bring them in £3-4 million, develop them into world-class talents, and then sell them on to the bigger clubs. Moises Caicedo is a good example. Estupinian, who used to be at Watford, now at Brighton, another great example. So yeah, I think we've got to aspire to be like Brighton. If that's bringing in Francisco Farioli, then fair enough. But again, as me and Cal discussed earlier, I don't think we've both seen enough, have we, to make a clear judgment on that.
Not really. I mean, the only real link I heard of him is that was the first time I ever heard of him. I saw on a Watford page saying that we were linked to him. And, I did a bit of research about him to see, how good he is and, how well he'd impact the club. And like I said there, I just did a bit more research on him earlier on in the stream. There's only been 2 real clubs he's managed, to be honest. So hopefully, if he gets a bit more managerial experience under his belt, hopefully we can see him as an option. I think any option, any manager is an option for us at the moment to see who we can really assess and bring in to see, if their style of play matches with ours and how they can really impact the team. But yeah, I'd like to see a lot more of him, hopefully. I want to quickly just go back to the poll that you made about 15 minutes ago.
Yes, I completely forgot about that.
So the results are in. For Gino Pozzo win, there's 20% of the vote that's gone to that. For not sure, they're on the fence, kind of a bit like you. There's 20%.
Yeah.
And main winner, the main front runner of that is Pozzo out with 60%. So yeah, it's I had an inkling, I think, before that poll was made that would really happen. Yeah, I'd like to get your thoughts on that. Yeah, 60% of the fan base saying they want him out. I mean, I think that's become pretty evident, through all the protests that we've had at the home games. Yeah, your thoughts?
As you say, I think it's evident that the majority of the fan base are not on Gino Pozzo's side at the moment. By the way, I do have a feed of the game now, by the way, so I am keeping more up to date with the match as we go on. Watford on the attack here. But yeah, Gino Pozzo. Yeah, I'm on the fence still. Clearly from that poll, obviously, a very small amount of people in this stream at the moment. If I did it on Twitter, we'd probably get a few hundred people voting. But yeah, it is what it is. I can completely understand why people would want him out. Caden saying Pozzo out in chat there as well. It is what it is. I think there's bigger issues within the club. The fact that Cristiano Giuretti's still around. What is his role at Watford? I don't know. What I would say, Cal, is there's been a lot of rumours about this meeting with Pozzo, Duxbury, and supporters potentially taking place in the summer. I'd like to at least hear what they have to say there, just in terms of the direction we want to go in. And I mentioned it in my Cardiff reaction. What we aspire to be as a football club. Do we aspire to be a club that challenges for Championship promotion every season? Do we aspire to be a club that is a mid-table Premier League side? Do we aspire to be a club that eventually is challenging for Europa League places in the Premier League in 5, 6, 7 years time? I don't know. I think that's what we have to find out from the owners, really. I just want to get your thoughts on that potential meeting with the supporters in the summer.
I mean, I really hope it does happen. It does come to fruition, because fans are the lifeblood of any club. If you don't have fans, you're nothing at the football club. So I think it's really important that we do get a look in as what happens, because we're the one that's really funding the Pozzo's pockets at the moment, buying season tickets, buying singular tickets every game to go and watch the team, cheer them on, home and away. Take into account the amount of money that we spend on travel to go to away games, travel to go to home games even as well. So yeah, it's really important that we get a look into the squad as well. While we don't own the club, it's really important that the owners, get the view of someone who's supported the club practically maybe all their life, or just joined onto on being a Watford fan. Really just getting their views across. And I know a few people that are trying to organise this as well, and they're all really down to earth people who basically don't want to cause any aggro within the fan base, don't want to separate the owners further away from the fans. They want us to have a nice, genuine conversation with Scott Duxbury and the Pozzo family, and really just cement what their ambitions are, what they'd want to see a lot more from Watford, in terms of investment, and basically running the club a lot better than what they have done. So it'd be an interesting outlet to see what happens there. But I really do hope that happens, because the fans deserve a voice after how much torment we've been put through over these past few years. And yeah, if it does come to fruition, I'll be very happy.
No, I'm just have to turn my camera off for literally 30 seconds, Cal. So do you mind taking over to about 30 seconds to a minute?
Oh God, if you don't put that pressure on me, Jesus. Okay, right.
I'll literally give about a minute. Just give me 1 moment.
No worries. Right, okay. Well, hello guys. Yeah, I'd like to get your thoughts as well. If you could put in the chat, about Gino Pozzo, why you want him out. Maybe for the 20% that voted about them being in, why do you want the Pozzos to stay at the club? And for the people that are not sure, if you were to lean towards one, which one would you go for? Would you want them to be out, or would you want them to stay here for the foreseeable future? Make sure to let me know in the comments. I'm gonna see what people have put. We've got Caden in the comments there saying Pozzo out. Yeah, I'm with you there, mate. I think the Pozzos, their expiration date has gone. Oh, he's back. I'm
back. Check your Instagram account, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much, mate. Yeah,
No
I was having
worries,
some
no
fun. I was having fun there. Why did you interrupt it? Yes. Yeah, so yeah, Cadence put Pozzo out in the chat. But Harry plays in the chat as well, saying every week the relationship between the fans and the Pozzo is getting worse, and that's why I think this fan meetup will definitely help benefit that, because it's important to, if we're going to hear the real outlook and ambition of this club, we're going to hear it from no one better than the Pozzos, because they're the people that set out the foundations for what the club wants to achieve each season. So to hear that and to get the fans and to obviously hear different opinions and different views from the fans and the ownership combined, that's going to be really interesting to see if they contrast at all. Saying as well, this following up with I'm Pozzo out as well. And Legend of Games has put this. Try that again. Legend Games has put, the thing is, we get big money that spend 2 million on one player and spend money bit by bit. Yeah, because I don't really see us. We aren't really that type of club that goes all out and splashes the cash on incredibly huge players. I think we
a couple of times we have. Andre
Gray and
Gray and Myla Sarr are the two players.
I mean, how Pedro kind of went under the radar. I think he still came here for quite a lot of money, but
I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure I read it was. I mean, it was probably like 4 or 5 million. I think I read. I don't think it was. I don't think it was his Myla Sarr levels of money where we're talking 30-35 million.
I mean, yeah, I think it was it's a crazy amount of money that was spent on him for sure. And do you think he's lived up to that? Do you think he's lived up to that price tag?
Oh yeah, Pedro for sure. I mean, we had.
No. I mean, it's Myla Sarr.
It's Myla Sarr. No.
Yeah,
definitely not.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I expected a lot more from his Myla Sarr for that price tag. Clearly, the managerial merry-go-round doesn't help. He's had no real clear style of play since he's been at Watford. He's had like 9 or 10 managers since he's been at the club, which is ludicrous. Same as with all our other players, really. It must be difficult to perform in an environment where your manager, your head coach is changing so regularly. For example, if you're in a school or you're in a workplace, if your teacher at school, for example, is changed every week, that would get quite frustrating. If you're at work and your manager gets changed every month, that would also be quite equally annoying and quite difficult for you to work in. So I think it's kind of, the culture, the atmosphere that Watford have created has just, fallen down onto the players. And again, that they're really talented players, is Myla Sarr, João Pedro, but I just think it's difficult for them to perform in such a negative environment at the moment.
Definitely. I think, I almost kind of, it's hard really, because I'm at a double-edged sword here, because it's evident that Sarr hasn't tried in his past few games. I think he's admitted defeat now. He's down tools. That's been evident through the way he's been playing. However, a little part of me now kind of thinks, obviously bringing up that point, is it really his fault? Because we've alternated managers more than we've had wins at one point this season. So he's not really had a specific style of play that he's really stuck to. And we've alternated so much. He's being utilised in many different ways, and that's obviously going to take a toll on the way that you think about the club. If you're constantly being told to play in different positions and different styles of play, that's gonna take a massive impact on you. So, in a way, do you think it's almost a fault of our own that Sarr's kind of down tools?
I don't know. I suppose in regards to the constant, managerial merry-go-round, if you will, it is on Gino Pozzo. I don't think at that moment in time Watford should have spent so much on Sarr. For Watford at the time, it's a lot of money to spend. I know we were just coming off the back of, pretty much our most successful season in regards to reaching the FA Cup final. However, to spend, 30-35 million pounds on one player, when that could have spread, all the way around the squad. At that time, remember, we needed real defensive reinforcements. And we were still playing the likes of Kabasele, Kafka, Adrian Mariappa at that time. It probably is on Gino Pozzo and the culture he created. Half-time at the game, Hull City 1, Watford 0. Just before half-time, Ozan Tufan did take a little bit of a knock. It looked like he was going to be substituted with an injury, but he did come back on just before half-time. And before we talk more about Watford, let's get a Premier League score update. 4 Premier League games going on at the moment. Crystal Palace 0, Everton 0, Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Brentford 0, Aston Villa 0, and Leicester City 1, Wolves 1. So those are your Premier League score updates. In regards to the Championship, it's Watford 0, Hull City 1. Ozan Tufan scoring in that game. Coventry 1, Reading 0. Norwich are losing 2-0 to Swansea, and Norwich have also picked up a red card. So Norwich, again, like Watford, not having the best of seasons. Burnley being held to a 0-0 draw by QPR at the moment. That could be a massive point for QPR. Cardiff City 1, Stoke City 1. Bristol 1, Rotherham 0. Birmingham 0, Blackpool 0, and Wigan 1, Millwall 1. That was a lot of games to read out.
And breathe.
And breathe. Thoughts on that first half, Cal? Ozan Tufan scoring a penalty for Hull.
Pretty abject, to be completely honest. I didn't expect anything more. Yes. I mean, a penalty is always, it's a sting to concede, but hopefully we can rebound in the second half, and hopefully we can get a goal. Like I said there, I went for my predictions of 1-1 draw. That is still on. That's still on the cards. Hopefully, Pedro, he seems to have done a lot more of the donkey work in this in that first half. So hopefully, he can really carry us to hopefully to a victory, but if not, a draw at the very minimum in the second half. Yeah, it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. I mean, even if Watford do win today, again, it is a pretty meaningless game. It would just be nice to see Pedro get a goal potentially, or Sarr get a couple of extra goals. I look at Middlesbrough, for example. Chuba Akpom for them is on about 25, 26 goals for this season. Our top goal scorers on 11. Has scoring goals and scoring a lot of goals been an issue for Watford this season? Because apart from the Luton game, beating them by 4-0, we've not really dispatched the team comfortably. We've had periods in games where we've been comfortable, don't get me wrong, but there's not been a game like previous seasons where we've beaten Bristol City by 6-0. We've not had a massive result like that, have we? Has that been an issue for you this season, scoring goals?
Definitely, I think we've seen a lack of it. Definitely, I think it would to like for many games that we've watched coming up recently. We haven't scored many goals. I think it's the amount that we let in as well that's really letting us down, because obviously we could score 2 or 3 in a game, but that'll more than likely end up being a draw, like a 2-2 or a 3-3, because we just have such a leaky defence. That's why I'm glad that Wilder's trying out people like Ryan Andrews. He's had a very positive impact. Yeah, sure, he gave away a penalty today, but he's over the other games. He's been very consistent since he first got his debut start. I also want to quickly just say as well that I said, like, for the top scorers in the league, we've got Chuba Akpom, he's obviously number 1. He's got 28 goals this season.
28, that's crazy.
That is nuts, absolutely nuts.
Then for example, like previous seasons, Mitrovic has scored thousands of goals for like Fulham as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely smashed it back when they were in the Championship. So, yeah, I mean, how old is Chuba Akpom actually? I think he's like mid-20s. I don't think he's that old. He's 20. Yeah, he's 27. So he's still he's hitting his prime essentially a bit now. That's kind of the prime time age. We then got the very highly rated and very young Victor Gyökeres from Coventry. A player
I think he'll be getting a big time move actually in the summer to maybe another Premier League club.
That's what I think. Premier League is definitely where he's most destined to go.
Like if Ivan Toney moves on from Brentford, I think that could be a good replacement.
Yes,
there, essentially.
I mean, Brentford are always good at scouting very young gems, and I think if they go all out for a striker, because they don't want to let him go for cheap, put it that way. So yeah, I mean, if he wants to come to the Vic, then we're working with open arms. Because
I doubt it.
We then got the very highly rated Nathan Teller as well. I think he's on loan from Southampton to Burnley.
Yes,
he can be. He's been banging them in. He's fifth highest scorer in the Championship at the moment, 17 goals. We then got a player that we were linked with in the January transfer window. I think it was January transfer window. I think it may have been the summer. Joel Perreault of Swansea. Yeah, 4th in the league at the moment, 18 goals.
Is he the guy who, when Ben Foster was at the club, he ran to the GoPro? Is that the same guy?
Yes, I think. Yeah, he was definitely a Swansea player. Yeah, I do remember that. He was definitely a Swansea player. Yeah. We then got very sadly 3rd is a Luton player. So we'll try and smooth on with him.
It's just not good. I mean, we talk about our defensive issues, but actually, the scoring lots of goals. You look at our goal difference compared to. Sheffield United and Burnley, our goal difference is so bad. I mean, clearly we have to concede less goals, but in terms of actually going forward and putting the ball in the back of the net, it's been an issue for us. And I think that's maybe why Keenan Davis has been dropped today, because he was meant to be the guy. He was meant to be the guy to score the goals for us, and it's just not worked out.
I mean, our goal difference is, let's have a look quickly. So for goals against, we've had 52. and then goal difference. Sorry, so they're not scored is 51. In comparison to people above us that have got for goals against 43, we've got 46 for Birmingham. Like it's incredibly high numbers for a team that got relegated last year from the Premier League. To see that we're now 13th, we were 12th after this game, before this game, so I know we've dropped down to 13th. And if we lose our next game against Sunderland, we'll be down to 15th. So
no,
it's just
hold on, So we're 13th
Bristol
59 points.
Because if Bristol and Hull, if they win next week and we lose, then we're down to 15th. So,
I mean, you know what? What's the only positive from this season? We've not been relegated.
That's very true. I think
that's it. That's the only positive.
And how Pedro's showing his class as well. That's probably
we've not done a Sunderland where we get relegated and then we get relegated again. That is the only thing.
And speaking of Sunderland, they're the team that we're going up against next. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
Sunderland and Stoke. That's it. Then the season's over. Of course, we'll be keeping you up to date over the summer here on the Watford Way in regards to new kit announcements potentially. I always enjoy it when Watford release a new home, away, and third kit. So we'll be keeping you up to date with all of that kind of stuff. And also, players coming in and out of the club as well. New managerial appointments, potential new owners. Who knows what's going to happen this summer? We'll have to wait and see. Lots going on around Watford, lots going on around the Watford Way as always as well. If you haven't already, you don't know, we have our other social media channels listed in the description down below. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and of course, we're here on YouTube with you today. And Cal has his own page. He recently released a new post all about Ryan Andrews at the Hornets House. So make sure you go and give Cal a follow on Instagram as well.
I was going to mention that actually about the post I made about Ryan Andrews. I want to say thank you for the love on that. It's been absolutely incredible. The amount of people that shared it on their stories. I felt really overwhelmed. So it was absolutely incredible. We've got over 100 likes, 3 figures in 3 hours, which is nuts. I mean, considering where I started from and to see where I am now is amazing. So it's definitely motivated me to make more edits like that in the future. I've got a big thing planned coming for the last day of the season. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Thank you for the love.
Good stuff. And hopefully, Watford can improve going into this second half today. Not really much else to talk about. Big game at Wembley, as we mentioned earlier. I'll probably put that on the TV behind me in a few minutes' time. Man City facing Sheffield United in the FA Cup semi-final. How I wish Watford could be in that position at the moment. Great times.
I can run through with you the lineup for that in the Man City show.
Yeah, that'd be very nice. I mean, going to Wembley, very expensive. I think I spent for my seat in the final, I spent about £150.
I spent around that as well. I was right at the front. I was 3 rows from the front.
Yeah, I was on the halfway line. I mean, I probably could have sat in a cheaper place, but I thought, the biggest occasion I've ever been to, I paid a bit extra, being a nice seat.
Just the whole atmosphere in that day was just something else. I mean, Deeney.
Did you go to the semi-final as well?
No, but it was against Wolves. That's probably the best game I ever watched live. Genuinely, it was.
So you managed to watch it live at least.
I watched it live. Yeah, I mean, when Deeney's penalty went in, I genuinely did. I genuinely did a lap around my house. It was nuts.
I was in tears. I was literally crying.
Yeah, I don't think I ran as fast around my house as I did when Deeney scored that penalty. It was absolutely insane. But yeah,
and then Delafeu, I mean, the first goal he scored.
Oh, that chip across Roddy. Oh man, it was delectable. Yeah, absolutely incredible. The day at Wembley, I went there with my dad. Absolutely amazing. Deeney came out of the changing room to take photos with Watford fans. I saw that all across social media. That was really nice. It just proves how much of a legend he really is and how much of a cult hero he is to the club. If we could have a moment like that again at some point, it'll be years to come from what I can see. But hopefully, if the FA Cup treats us nicely and all the Carabao Cup, I'll be happy with either. If we can have an easy run in to hopefully maybe towards around 16 quarterfinals, I'll be very happy with that. But if we can get to that sacred promised land of the final, that's going to be a huge achievement.
Hopefully, we can answer Adam Tomlinson's question in chat. Do we know who conceded the pen? From what we've read, it was Ryan Andrews. At right back, who conceded the penalty, Adam. Cal, is Erling Haaland starting for Man City?
Yeah, I was going to run through that with you now. So we've got Stefan Ortega in net for Manchester City, so replacing Ederson. We've then got the very out of sorts Carl Walker at right back as well, because I remember Pep saying that he's currently not really going to fit in his system. So I can see him moving. I know Aston Villa are linked with him, so it'd be very interesting to see where he
Wow, are
goes
Aston Villa linked with Kyle Walker, are they?
Yeah, apparently they're very heavily linked with him as well. We've got Manuel Akanji, who's been sensational for City this season. We then got Emerick Laporte taking his place. I think he definitely deserves a start, especially in these kind of games where he's been behind the likes of Ake and Ruben Diaz. With Sergio Gomez, the young Spanish left back, starting there. We've then got Ilkay Gundogan and Bernardo Silva starting in the midfield. So quite a very stacked midfield for a game against Sheffield.
Bernardo Silva's been superb lately as well.
Oh, he's been incredible. That game against Bayern was something else. In that second leg.
God, yeah. He was turning them inside out, actually.
He was. Yeah. I mean, it could have been 5 or 6 nil in the first leg as well. It just proves. I think they're favourites to win the treble this season. I really think they are.
They have got Real Madrid in the next round, though.
They do, but again, I think Real Madrid were quite poor against Chelsea. I don't think they really tried. I think Chelsea
if Chelsea had a clinical striker, they probably could have scored a few goals in that game. But yeah, Chelsea this season haven't been great.
Yeah, totally agree. We've got Riyad Mahrez on the right wing, Julian Alvarez playing in the middle. We've got then Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland, the big man, up top.
I love Haaland. He's probably my new favourite player. We've kind of gone. Don't you agree that we've kind of gone past the Messi Ronaldo era now? We're kind of in a new era of like Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland.
I agree to that to some extent. I think once Ronaldo and Messi retire, that's going to be a monumental day for the sport, and that's going to be celebrated worldwide. Well, I don't mean in a good way, but it'll be like a landmark worldwide.
Yeah.
Like that's happened, but yeah, looking towards the future. The new Messi Ronaldo debate that'll be predecessed by Haaland and Mbappe, and I think for now, can we get another poll on the go? Mbappe or
Haaland? For me, Mbappe probably edges it just because of his like technical ability generally.
And also as
in front of goal, Haaland's lethal.
Exactly, and also the only reason I'd just tip towards Mbappe is because scoring a hat trick in a World Cup final, you don't get better than that, do you?
No. He should. It was a good final. Obviously, Mbappe v Messi. It was good to watch. But yeah, seeing Messi lift a trophy was a great moment. I loved it. I really did love it.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant. Yeah, it'd be brilliant to see. Because Haaland obviously he's born in England as well. He was born in Leeds. So
yeah, I read this. So born in Leeds, and then is his dad Norwegian?
Well, yeah, his dad is. I think he has Norwegian roots. He wasn't born. I don't know if his dad was born in Norway, but I know there's definitely Norwegian roots. He's decided to follow alongside his dad and obviously play for Norway.
But theoretically, though.
Theoretically,
we could have had
he can play for England. He can play for England, I think.
Well, probably not anymore. I assume we're past that point.
Yeah, but he could. I think he definitely could play for England, and he could have play for England. I mean, imagine Kane and Haaland up front. We'd have no excuse to win the Euros. Like it's genuinely, we'd have such a stat squad. That's an incredible.
Well, that would be fun. That would be fun. But yeah, Watford. That's kick off here for the second half shortly. There's a couple of minutes of added time in the first half, so that's what we're just waiting for at the moment. We've been through the Premier League scores, we've been through the Championship scores. Again, basically means nothing because Watford season has petered out dramatically. And with our mid-table Championship side, with supposedly Premier League players in our team, well, so-called Premier League players anyway. Yeah. It's not good. It's
just the downfall. The downfall. We were in the Premier League last season, man. I can't believe it. We're like nearing 13th to 15th place in the Championship. That's just not on.
The thing is, like in the Premier League, I know we lost week in, week out, but at least I could sit there and go, I think Arsenal beat us by like 3-0. I sat in the Vic. I was like, you know what? They're clearly the better side, and we've actually given it a go. Whereas this season, I just feel. We've not given our all. Whatever as a person, as a normal human being, whatever I go into, I want to give my all. I want to give 100%. Our players are very highly paid. We all go to work, or we do various other things to attend football matches. We pay our hard-earned money. we're not getting our value for money at the moment, and it's a real shame. But hopefully next season something will happen. We'll see what happens over the summer. Ultimately, it's too early to judge. I say too early to judge. We can judge all we want at the moment, but you know what I mean. We need to rebuild in the summer. Let Ben Manga, Helena Costa work their magic. We'll see what happens. But Watford about to kick off for the second half now. By the way, we haven't even mentioned the kit we're playing in today. Probably the favourite kit we've released this season for me. We're playing in the blue kit.
True, in blue.
It's got like the lightning bolt going down it as well. I really like that shirt. And if you want to buy a Watford shirt at the moment, I think they are heavily discounted in the Hornets shop. I think you can pick up an adult Watford kit for £25 at the moment. So some free promotion for Watford FC there. Please give me a job. I do want to work for you. Thank you very much.
I like your way of thinking there, but I mean, I actually want to have a bit of a conversation for everyone in the chat, including you as well, James.
Okay.
What do you think out of all of your out of all the years you supported Watford, and you've seen all these amazing kits go by? So we had the Friends for You kit years ago, our kit of FX Pro. We've had some great kits and great sponsors. What is your favourite kit you've ever seen Watford play? That's home. That could be a home kit, away kit, a third strip. Please tell me. I'm interested in hearing that.
So my favourite kit is the Puma kit that we had in our first season back in the Premier League under Quique Sanchez Flores. So I think it's the 14-15 season, or the 15-16, I should say, sorry, the Puma kit. And it was so nice. I don't actually own one. I see them for auction on eBay all the time. So I should probably buy one really. But the Puma 15-16 kit, look it up. Superb. Really nice clips. Sleek, clean. Represents the club. Black and yellow, black shorts. It's just superb. So in terms of the kit I like, that's probably the one I like the most. And also the season we got to the FA Cup final. Classic kit for me. Really nice. I've got that in my wardrobe just behind me there. Lovely kit. So those are probably my top two Watford kits. And as Cal said, let us know your favourite Watford kits in chat as well. Cal, what about you?
For me, I'd probably say there was a really nice third strip we had. I don't know if it was last season or the season beforehand, but it was turquoise kind of. It was like a turquoise, like kind of teal kind of colour. It was one of our third strip. I saw a really funny post about Watford.
Do you remember the season it was from? I'll try and look this up on Google now. Was it 1920? 21-22?
It may have been 1920, I think. I'll quickly just...
So the third kit, was it?
It was definitely our third strip. Yeah, there it is. I'll try and see which one it is. Oh, there's a 21-22 third kit.
21-22. Let's take a look at this.
Absolutely stunning kit. Turquoise, kind of teal kind of colour. Really nice.
Oh, yeah, I see the one you mean.
Yeah, that's my favourite kit by a landslide.
And it's got like the gold state logo on it as well.
That's it. Yeah, we've got a gold.
That's
thing
nice.
there.
That is nice, actually.
We've got a few more suggestions as well. We've got 18 to 19 home kit there from Alan Tomlinson, the 18 to 19 one. I mean, can you search that up? See what that looks like.
Kind of 18 to 19. That's the FA Cup season.
Oh, I see. Okay,
that's the one I mentioned. Yeah.
We've then got the 2015 to 2016 kit. So
yeah,
going back quite
again,
a few years.
That's a Puma kit.
Yeah, we've then got a suggestion from Harry Plays. I don't know why, but I really liked our 20 to 21 home shirt, but our third shirt for 20 to 21 as well.
See, my memory is so bad. I can't remember any of this. 2021 home.
So yeah, that third shirt from 2021 is the one I was speaking about there. That blue turquoise one.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I didn't like that one actually. The 2021 home, nah, not for me.
Look at this one, actually. Hold on.
Maybe it's because it was the season, the COVID season, where we couldn't attend. But I'm sorry, I don't agree on that one. Not for me. I don't like all the lines.
The black line. Okay.
Nah.
It's an interesting design. I give it to. I mean, that was the first time we collabed with Kelme, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've had them for a good few seasons now, actually. And a bit of an exclusive, by the way, from what I was told by a reliable source. Steak will not be our sponsor next season. Watford have 2 potential new sponsors lined up. I was told by a person, that stake would have only stayed on as Watford sponsor if we were to get promoted to the Premier League. Obviously, that isn't the case. So from what I've been told from a trusted source, stake will no longer be Watford sponsor. I don't know who the new sponsor will be, but yeah, that's all I've been told at the moment. Stake will no longer be Watford sponsor after this current season.
I've also heard as well from very trusted sources, due to the person who runs the sponsors, amazing effort to promotion. I've also heard the WATFORDWay are in for a sponsorship running.
Yeah, imagine the WATFORDWay in the front of the shirt. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, just imagine like your black little hornet logo.
Oh, I would love it.
That look really cool, I think.
I would love it. I mean, I haven't won a lottery. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. It's not going to be possible.
If I ever won the lottery, I'd challenge Pozzo for the ownership of Watford.
Yeah,
definitely. I think, I mean, I don't have any experience of running a football club, but genuinely, I think fans can run the football club better than they can at the moment.
The Happy Egg Company was a good sponsor. That's a very, very old one.
That's very old.
Coca-Cola, I believe, when I was really young, I was probably about 5 or 6 years old at the time, but I think Coca-Cola was the shirt sponsor for a couple of years as well.
I quite like the Phones for You one as well. That's old.
Oh, I don't like that one. I know the one you mean, but I'm not a fan of that one.
I mean, it's definitely a mixed opinion. I mean, it's the same as what Harry Payne's has been in the chat here as well, saying it's very mixed opinion on that 19 to 20. I know that 2021 home shirt. You either really don't like it or you really like it. So yeah, there's always going to be mixed opinions on shirts. We've got Alan Tonison put in the chat as well. 19 to 20 away kit in blue is up there for me. That 19 to 20 away kit, is that I didn't actually know we had another blue kit.
1920. I can't remember any of this. I'm sorry.
Sorry, we have shocking knowledge, guys. We then got I had the Iveco and football. I remember the Football Manager sponsor.
The 1920 away. I actually own that kit. Yeah, I like that.
I remember the Iveco and I remember the Football Manager sponsor. That was a quality sponsor.
I love Football Manager, by the way. If we've got any other Football Manager fans in chat, make yourselves known to me, because I'm the biggest Football Manager fan. I actually met the owner who runs Football Manager, Miles, in like a corner shop the other week, which is very, very random. But I got a selfie with him. That was very nice. I
just imagine how much he makes, man.
I didn't ask him that.
Do you want to spare me if you could, mate?
No, I didn't ask him that, but it's a good game. You want something a bit more realistic than FIFA. I think FIFA's good to play with your mates and stuff. If you want to actually get into transfers, finances, and just general squad management, Football Manager is a great game. Again, Football Manager, if you are watching, I would love to work with you as a presenter, as a social media executive, whatever it may be. Please hire me. Thank you very much.
I'm also going to put my name in the ring as well. I will happily join James. That.
Oh dear, funny.
Yeah, I think Football Manager is good. I think with FIFA as well. I've heard through the grapevine it's actually being called EA Sports FC now, isn't it?
Well, it's been announced. It's been fully announced. I was hoping they would make it free to play, because I'm fed up of paying 50 quid for FIFA every single year. But yeah, it was getting a bit boring. FIFA. I played it this year as I do every year, but it does need some major changes, in my opinion. Substitution for Watford, by the way.
I was about to mention that.
53 minutes gone in this game. Looks like Leandro Bacuna is coming off. I'm just waiting to see who's coming on.
Keenan Davis, by the looks of it.
And yeah, it's Keenan Davis. So obviously Chris Wilder making the attacking change there. Leandro Bacuna, Cal, I believe his contract is up end of this season as well. Obviously he come in as like a short-term solution. What are your thoughts on Bacuna? Is he someone you'd like to keep? I'm not personally a fan, but yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts on Bacuna.
It was interesting when we bought him, because I think he's also, I don't think he's okay, how do you really put this? Because he's been a solid player as a defensive midfielder in our squad. I think he has shown that he does have some kind of quality at sometimes. But he's quite old, I think. I don't think he doesn't have many years left in him, I don't think, at a very high level, for example, like the Championship. Especially if he stays with us, if we somehow get promoted next season, he won't be able to maintain, he won't have the stamina for the Premier League game, because it's just way too fast. So, he's held his own this season, but I think we do need to look for a real solid centre defensive midfielder. Someone like Hamza Chowdhury, because he is ill today, and Bakuna's took his place through sickness. So if we can get Charlie on a permanent, which we won't, I don't think, but it'd be amazing if we could, because he does show some quality, especially in that defensive midfielder region. But I think with the money that we keep up from Sarr leaving and maybe Pedro leaving, we need to start investing heavily in people that I think really can contend for promotion.
Yeah, absolutely. There is about 55 minutes gone in this Watford game now. Again, Cal, you probably agree with me, very dull, very boring. Both teams recycling possession, not many chances being created. Watford probably actually start this second half, dominated the ball quite a bit more than we did in the first half. But yeah, no real clear-cut chances created as yet. But we are shooting towards our away fans as well, so hopefully that will be something.
I just saw that.
If we get a goal.
Yeah, exactly. I've just seen that. Oh my god, that's the most horrible miscontrol I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, it's quite a tight angle actually. Like you have to bring it down and then but
Yeah. I mean, it's been a very boring game. I've not seen much happen. I mean, considering the only real attempt to goal that we've had was a shot that's been fired over the bar, just kind of sums it up really. The only goal in the game being a penalty. Just one of those, standard lower tier English games, which you want to watch, just have a bit of background game.
It's been nice chatting to you today. It's been nice.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
chat as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I prioritize
subscribers now, by the way, as well. So
yeah, I saw that.
Thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. And the road to 800, then the road to 900, and then hopefully 1,000 in a few months' time. That's the aim. And yeah, then I'll literally be like the second largest Watford YouTube channel out there, which is crazy. So
who's the top one at the moment? It's the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast.
WD18, I believe, at the top.
I think Do Not Scratch Your Eyes are quite high up as well.
Yeah.
I'll have a look.
I'll be up there anyway. Don't discount me, Cal. I'll be up there.
yeah. Can't forget James. WD18 fan channel. Some of the comments, how many subscribers they have? They have about 6.8k. So. Yeah. You've got a way to go.
And everyone just unsubscribe and resubscribe.
Oh dear, I don't think I'll be very happy with that.
No, I'm joking. That's a joke. That is a joke, clearly.
Yeah. But to be fair, they've done really well. They've watched the interview with Rob Edwards. That absolutely blew up. I mean, if you can have those opportunities at some point, that's going to really help you out.
Well, again, another exclusive. I was meant to have. You don't even know this, Cal. I was meant to go to Vicarage Road to interview Ryan Porteous. The day before Bilic got sacked. It's the day after Bilic got sacked. I was meant to go to Vicarage Road to interview Ryan Porteous for YouTube. However,
how did you get that opportunity?
I won't say how I got the opportunity, but anyway, I was meant to go. Bilic got sacked, and then I got an email from someone at the club, and they were like, obviously, the situation at the moment, for PR purposes, it wouldn't be very good if I'd rock up to an interview and say, what are your thoughts on Bilic getting sacked? It wouldn't have happened in the club. So yeah, that's the reason why that didn't happen. But yeah, hopefully, in the summer, I'm looking to get a few opportunities to speak to some current Watford players. That'd be really good for the channel. And yeah, obviously, if I do get the opportunity, there'll be the opportunity for you guys to submit your questions for me to ask as well. So yeah, it's all looking good on this side of the pond, my friend. But yeah, Watford today not looking so good. Ozan Tufan, as you mentioned before, scoring that first half penalty for Hull City. Just ironic, really. We kind of thought it would happen. He's had a decent season for them this year. We spoke about him a lot today. He scores the penalty. I didn't know he was their penalty taker until someone in chat told us, actually. So,
kind of rubbed salt in the wounds there a bit. But yeah, I think if I was to take an interview with anybody at the club, anyone affiliated with the club, I'd love to interview Elton John. That'd be an absolutely quality interview.
That'd be very difficult to get.
Yeah, I'm thinking, if I grow a little bit bigger than I am now, maybe. But I'd hope any opportunity I get interviewing anyone at the club, whether that be even from the Watford kit man, I'd be more than privileged. So anyone.
I think Ryan Porteous is a good one to speak to. João Pedro, if his English is good enough, I'd
Yeah,
like.
that's
to
what I was
speak
going to
to you.
say. Yeah,
I've seen him say a few English words here and there, but I've not seen him do a full interview in English. So
it's Miles Sarr as well. He's not really clued up on it. I mean, I saw a Ben Foster vlog where he literally only spoke about 3 words of English. So I think,
yeah, it's bad, really. I mean, you should try and learn the language if you live in the country. But
I think as well, I think someone who I'd really want to speak to as well, just because of how long he's been here and how much he's probably be clued up around what to speak about when it comes to speaking about the club, is Craig Cathcart.
Yeah, Craig Cathcart would be a good one.
Just a chance there for Watford. I want to quickly say that just headed wide hips over the bar there from Hal Pedro.
Tom Cleverley I'd like to speak to as well.
Yeah,
again, he's been round the block. He played for Man United. Again, he's spent the majority of his career either on loan at Watford or permanently at Watford. So again, it seems like a nice guy, Tom Cleverley. Apart from that, I don't know. Daniel Batman might be a good shout as well, Cal.
I mean, he's come under fire a lot from the fans recently, though. So I want to make sure that the person that I would want to interview is quite liked amongst the fan base, because I think we definitely get a lot more of a brighter outlook in that sense. But
and of course, any of the academy players as well. Ryan Andrews, Adeyemo, Jack Reeves, players like that would be great.
I mean, saying that, I obviously did that Ryan Andrews edit on my page I think it was a few days ago now, and within about 10 minutes on my story, he'd already liked the story, Ryan Andrews. So yeah, it's amazing to see that all the Watford youth looking at fans edits on Instagram, seeing the fan pages, and it's good that we have a voice for many people. For many of the players, have a look at our pages.
Absolutely. 61 minutes gone in this game now. Not much to report, as you can tell. Me and Cal are very much going on various tangents now, so there's not a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it's gone from the whole...
to eat this evening, Cal. Like, you got a Saturday night takeaway planned or anything like that?
And these people are going on a tangent. You've gone even more of a tangent there. Okay. What am I going to have? That's a good point. I mean, just to drown my sorrows, maybe in Watford losing so much, probably a takeaway.
Well, I had the Mackies yesterday. Should I read out my Mackies order from yesterday?
Go on, let's do it.
Let me just find it. One moment. By the way, this was shared with my brother. I didn't eat all this food just myself. Just FYI, I'm not that greedy. And as I mentioned earlier, I went on a long run this morning. I burnt off the calories. I'm not overweight. Don't judge me, please. Here we go. Hold on. I found it. So we had a 20 nugget share box. Then we had a sweet chili chicken wrap. We had 2 Maltesers McFlurries, a cheeseburger, and 2 medium fries. So
there is a penalty appeal for Watford. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your
order. I mean, I was just reading through my Mackey's order, Cal.
There is a penalty appeal, but I don't think the referee has seen too much of it to be a penalty. It seems like Surrey
handball, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if it is a penalty. I've not got the sound on because obviously I'm trying to keep up with many things at once.
Chris Wilder looks
I can
baffled.
see.
Everyone's I mean, all the at the moment.
All the Watford players were crowding around the ref whilst you're reading out your 20 nugget share box. So yeah.
Yeah, that was my order anyway. So not actually that much food really, but I've not had a McDonald's for about 5 or 6 months really. So I just thought, you know what, I really want to order one. I'm craving one. Let's just go for it. The McFlurry was absolutely delicious. Highly recommend the Maltesers McFlurry.
You got to stop, man. I'm getting hungry.
It was lovely, honestly. Cheeseburger was nice.
Anyway, so speaking of going off on a tangent, I'm going to read some comments now, just so we we get back onto the Watford theme. We've got someone here saying, so Ryan Andrews, Pedro did an interview with Football Daily apparently. So I'll definitely be watching.
I doubt that was in English though. To be fair.
Yeah, maybe there was a translator. I'm not too sure, but I'll definitely check that out.
I'll see what I can do. I'll try and work some Watford Way magic in the summer, and hopefully I can bring you an interview with myself and a Watford player.
You're too kind. You're too kind. We've got Adeyemo would be great there from Alan Thomason. I'd defend Adeyemo to the hill. I think he's an absolutely incredible talent. I think he could do really well for us in the future. Fireball 034 Watford, that's such a great edit. Thank you very much. Then we've got Alan Tomlinson saying, would you take Kamara back next season? So obviously he's going back to Udinese, because obviously through the Pozzo's wicked ways of transferring players to and from Udinese, did it with Tristacon, did it with Deulofeu, he has an affiliation obviously owning that club as well. Would you take him back? Do you think we'd have a look in the market for a new left back? We've got Morris on the bench as well. Hopefully he can make an appearance today, because obviously that's another youth player who we know will give their all. Do you think he'll do you think we'll keep Kamara? Or do you want to keep Kamara?
Chance Watford there, by the way, cleared by Hull City. Do I think we should keep Kamara? No. I think he's a liability defensively. In the Coventry game, he nearly gave away a penalty. Should have been a penalty. Yeah, you know what? He's an aging player. I think he's 28, 29 years old now. He's probably on a lot of money. Send him to Italy. Udinese seem to be doing very well. Morris is back up. Bring in the first choice left back. Have them two fighting out for the left back position. That's what I'd do in the summer, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, I think he's also getting on a bit as well now, Kamara. So I think he's found his level, at Udinese in Italy. I think he could do quite well there. We've got Fireball 034 Watford as well in the chat. I think another one saying, how am I to auction this squad signed shirt after the walk? I don't think many people are going to want it. I'd take it happily if you're offering. But I think there's been such a disconnect, I think, with the owners and with the ownership and the fans this season.
On that, I saw the shirt on eBay. I think is it down as £100 minimum? I'm not sure. Maybe reduce the minimum price a little bit to entice the Watford fans in. But yeah, I think it's down as £100 minimum on eBay. I'm not sure. Let us know, Fireball, in chat.
We also got Adam Thompson in the chat saying, Adam Thompson and Harry Play saying, I love the 20 nugget share boxes. I'd have that all to myself.
Yeah, I mean,
so you have some people with you.
I just want to mention, I'm not that greedy. I could eat that all to myself. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I'm not that greedy. It was very delicious though, and I don't have a takeaway every week. It was a treat on a Friday night. I just said to my brother, let's get a McDonald's. And he said, yes, James, let's get it. And I went, okay, I'll order it then. And that's what happened. So there you go.
Very, very interesting story there.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Dear. I like how this has gone from a Hull versus Watford watch along to a wash a McDonald's order.
Watford having a few set piece opportunities though, Cal, haven't they? Hull City on the break though at the moment.
I can see it's been a bit. I think we've become a bit more alive in the second half. Obviously, we haven't tucked away many chances, but I think we've definitely done a lot better than we have in the first half. Hopefully, we can see a lot more action. I think Pedro's gone a lot more under the radar. I'll not see too much of him this second half. But hopefully we can see a bit more action spring to life soon. We've got two subs here. This looking like it's coming on for Hull City. We've got, oh God almighty, we've got Doherty
don't bother pronouncing them, Cal. Let's not worry about that.
I can pronounce the guy on the left's name. We've got Doherty and we've got number 10 for Hull. There you go. That's what I'm going to call him. number 10
score update from Harry in chat. Apparently QPR are beating Burnley.
Big result for them, that is. Very, very big result.
Not so much Burnley. Burnley are clearly going to go on and win the league, but big result for QPR potentially. What else was I going to mention? I had something in my head there I was going to say, but I completely forgot. I must have early onset dementia or something like that. I don't know what is wrong. I don't know what is wrong with me today, clearly.
We'll have to see who'll be coming off now for Hull. I mean, this is Watford page, but it's always good to see who's coming off for Hull. It's like Seri's coming off for that Doherty guy, like I just mentioned. And for number 10 for Hull, it's interesting to see who he'll be coming off for. Number 9, is that Tufan? I'm not too sure. Let me quickly check. I've got another person's name who I can't pronounce for the life of me. Syed somebody. I'm going to say his name is. I'm not going to try.
I mean, apart from 2 players, I mean, there's 3 Hull City players I know. That's it. It probably shows my lack of Championship football knowledge, really.
It's so bad. Yeah, I mean, I only really watch Watford. That's it. I don't really take much interest in other people.
I mean, like the odd game I'll watch when it's on like on Sky on like a Friday night, for example. But I mean, there's some teams you take more interest in, like John Eustace at Birmingham City. Obviously, used to play for Watford himself, and we've got Troy Deeney at Birmingham as well. So you tend to take more notice of them types of teams. But Yeah, apart from Burnley, Sheffield United, Norwich, that's really my knowledge of the division, which is a little bit bad on my part. But again, my interests are Watford getting back to the Premier League, and I don't want Watford to be playing Hull City. I want Watford to be playing Manchester United and teams like this. So
no, I don't want to see them play Hull City. I want to see them play Manchester City.
Yeah, that's a better saying, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there are some. I mean, the Championship is, it's an interesting league for sure. It's definitely got a lot more aggression in it, and it shows, that English football isn't all that bad. It's not, money fueled. There can be some real entertainment in the lower leagues, and I think as well, these results like QPR versus Burnley, QPR winning there is such a big result because if Burnley were to win today, that would wrap up the Championship title for them. I think they would actually lift it if Burnley won today. So they kind of halted that QPR. Yeah, so it's very, very big for them.
A quick question, Fireball. I know you sent me a link. Is it actually a match-worn shirt you're auctioning, or is it just a signed? Is it just like a match-issued signed shirt? I'll put the link in chat before the stream ends, because I know you did walk a very, very long distance to get that shirt. So fair play to you. You raised a lot of money for charity as well. So round of applause to you, Fireball, for that.
Yeah, really good, really good, really good.
But yeah, as Sam said, Championship's a very underrated league. I mean, Watford were in this playoff race right until the end, really. I mean, it shows how poor how inconsistent the other teams were, because Watford have been dreadful themselves, yet we still had that small chance of getting the playoffs. So, it's always very competitive. And if you go on a run of 2, 3, 4 games with a win, you can go from 16th to 8th or 7th. Something like that is crazy.
Oh, it is crazy, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's such a short amount of points that separate, maybe from 20th to 12th. I mean, like, it's the exact scenario that we're in. We're 13th at the moment. We could drop down to 15th if we lose next week, which is probably a possibility. So, yeah, it's just crazy how things alternate, and it isn't acceptable where we are, how far we are down below in the Championship, because obviously we got promoted, obviously we got relegated last season from the top league in England. So I expect us to at least be challenging to obviously get playoffs or go straight back up. But it's been an absolute treacherous season, but that's all been really at the hand of, let's say, the Pozzos. So yeah, it's been a huge roller coaster this season, and we can only hope, we get a bit more luck and a bit more passion next season.
I've got my TV remote here because I'm about to turn on my TV to watch 2 proper football teams who are very talented players. Man City versus Sheffield United kicks off in 15 minutes. So as we're watching this Watford game, I've got my eyes set on my TV in front of me watching this FA Cup semi-final as well. And my new favourite player in the world, Erling Haaland, is playing. So it'd be good to see him play and hopefully bag a couple of goals in this game.
I just want to quickly give you a bit of a score update as well. I know you did the last one, but I'm going to quickly do it now. So okay, so
start with the Premier League actually.
So starting with the Premier League, we've got Fulham versus Leeds, which happened earlier on today. That ended up as a 2-1 win for Fulham.
I did watch that as well. Fulham, the Harry Wilson goal, very good in that game. Leeds, Ivan Meslier goal, not so good. And I'm a bit concerned for Leeds under Javi Gracia, actually, Cal, as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'll speak about that with you in just a second about who we relegate from the Premier League. But we've got Brentford, Aston Villa. Brentford winning that 1-0 at the moment. Big shock there, I'd say. I think Aston Villa probably are the team on form that expect to win that at the moment. We then got Crystal Palace, Everton at the moment, 0-0. Leicester versus Wolves, 1-1. And then a very, very entertaining game at Anfield. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest, 3-2 Liverpool. Wow. Okay. And then we've got, obviously, 16. We've got 4:45. We've got the FA Cup, Manchester City, Sheffield. Hopefully we have an interesting game there. We'll go on to the Championship real quick. Hold on a second.
I'm just putting a poll in chat. Mackey's or Burger King?
For God's sake. Okay, well, we've got so for the Championship, we're just going to quickly update you on that as well. We've got Birmingham City versus Blackpool 0-0. Bristol City versus Rotherham 1-1. Burnley versus Queen's Park Rangers, or QPR, sorry. Still 1-0 to QPR. We've got Cardiff City, the team who thumped us last game versus Stoke. That's a 1-1 draw at the moment. Coventry are now winning against Reading 2-1. Obviously Hull versus Watford 1-0 to Hull. Norwich is getting pummeled by Swansea at the moment, 3-0. And
they're a man
Wigan
down as well, Norwich, aren't they?
I know, yeah, it's all going wrong for them in that game. And then Millwall, who are actually pushing very, very hard for playoffs at the moment, are now drawing to bottom of the table, Wigan.
A question from Adam quickly, Cal. I don't know if you can get the Forest team up. He asked, is Emmanuel Dennis playing for Forest today?
Let's have a look real quick. But is he playing now? Because I know the game is playing.
Very, very talented player. I know me and you both really like Emmanuel Dennis, and I think it's a shame that he's not been given enough opportunities by Steve Cooper this season, has he?
I'm sorry to burst your bubble there, but he's currently on the bench, just wallowing away. It's Morgan Gibbs-White and Nico Williams.
Forest, and they're benching such a talented player in Dennis, but
and they have that striker.
That's why we're not managers. That's why we're sitting here doing a watch along, because
exactly. And they have a striker that they bought from Union Berlin, that Awanai. He's been playing for a few games now. He's not been converting at all. Played Dennis.
I do like him. I do actually quite like that. How do you say his name? Ayuwani.
Nowhere near. Awanai.
Awanai.
Yeah, Awoniyi. It's a really weird name, but
I've watched him a few times this season. I do actually quite like him, but they need to get Dennis back into that team somehow.
I mean, it's controversial, right? Because obviously having Dennis back, he's a prolific goal scorer, absolutely netted them in for us back when he was with us. But I felt like towards the end of the season, obviously when we got relegated, he kind of played for himself. He's been an individual player, and I think like he didn't really play for the team, and he started becoming a bit more selfish. And I do understand that, because obviously he wants to try and win games on his own, and obviously he has the talent to do that at some point. But especially in this team where everyone was kind of admitting defeat, that we were going to get relegated to the Championship. It kind of happened with players like Sarr, and it still is happening with Sarr. Hal Pedro is one of the players that didn't have that mentality at all. He carried that with him to the Championship. He's doing really well with us now. And it was Dennis and Sarr that were the real two problems. They had a real ego problem. And I think moving Dennis onto the Forest obviously hasn't really blossomed there as much as people thought he would have, because obviously bringing that striker. He's
still scored a few goals. I think he's scored 4 or 5 goals, but just in like brief cameo appearances off the bench, which must be annoying for him. But
exactly. I mean, it's another Nigerian striker that's actually taking his place as well now in IE. So, there's a real tussle there. I mean, we've got a few opinions coming in the chat as well, saying getting back.
Can I just say, by the way, we've not mentioned the recent substitution. Yassir Asprilla come onto the pitch for Ismail Kone. Just wanted to let you guys know.
No worries at all. I didn't actually see that, so thank you for filling me in with that. We've got a few opinions coming in the chat now. We've got getting back in the bit next season. This is in terms of Emmanuel Dennis. I loved Dennis last season. I wanted back next season. Gibbs-White is very good. He's a very talented player. I think probably Nottingham Forest did pay a lot more than he's probably worth.
I think they paid about 40. Was it about £40 million from Wolves?
Around that 35, 40 million it was to Wolves. It was to Sheffield, I think, because didn't he transfer to Sheffield? It might have been from Wolves, but
yeah.
Apparently Leicester have just scored as well. I'll quickly just keep you in the loop with that.
Wembley,
big goal for Leicester.
Filling up for this game as well. Very, very sunny day down at Wembley Stadium for this game. I can tell you what, it's a lot more exciting than this Watford game at the moment. Joao Pedro has been given a yellow card by the looks of it as well for some reason.
Just imagine out of all the teams. I mean, you got teams like Bayern Munich that City have faced against, all the teams in the Champions League group stages. Imagine if it's Sheffield United, the team that stopped their treble hopes.
Well, you know what? Sheffield United could stop City's day. Very unlikely, of course. But it looks like a great stage, great atmosphere at Wembley today. Wish I could be there supporting, the Hornets, but it's not to be. And
I've just seen a repeat on the game of Watford. I think Hal Pedro and another person, I think Cabaselli, got a bit of a scrap there with 2
I
players.
saw that. Well, you said scrap. It's just a bit of pushing and shoving. Just your casual.
Yeah, I saw that whole number 10. He pushed Hal Pedro initially first. Hal Pedro pushed him back with a little tiny poke, and he fell to the ground like he'd just been shot.
Yeah. Well, it happens every game, doesn't it? Footballers, the slightest touch, they'll fall over like they've been shot in the face by like a machine gun or something. It's a bit crazy, but there you go.
Chance here coming up, and it's just gone way over the crossbar.
Yeah, let us know what you guys are doing this Saturday evening. As I said, I should have got my Mackies today. Really, it probably would have made more sense. But yeah, I had Mackies yesterday, and I saw Cineworld. I think we're doing a deal. It's like £3 cinema tickets to go and watch a film today. So I might end up doing that later.
You're gonna go and watch the Super Mario film. Apparently it broke box office records.
Oh yeah, I really want to go and see that film. Actually, I mean, I used to play Mario Kart on the Wii so much when I was younger. I had a Nintendo Switch up until recently as well, but then I sold that to buy my new Xbox. So yeah, I do love Mario. I probably will go and see it at some point. Avatar: The Way of Water, I'd like to go and see as well.
Yeah, I saw about that. Yeah, I've not seen how well it's done. I've not seen the film, but I know it's done quite well. I think it'd be interesting. I don't think anything's going to beat the original Avatar, because that Avatar film was just insane. Like, it's just, yeah, it's one of the best films I think ever made, in my opinion. But
apart from that, there's not much else out at the moment. I've been watching Ted Lasso on Apple TV. The new series of Ted Lasso's come out. I'm a massive fan.
I didn't know there wasn't a series.
My favorite series I've ever watched in my whole life. So if you've never watched Ted Lasso, pay, I think it's about $4.99 per month for Apple TV. Pay that money and watch Ted Lasso. It's absolutely incredible. It's obviously a football program, otherwise I wouldn't be recommending it to you. Superb show, really, really good. Ted Lasso. You'll really
I mean, to be fair, I would put all bets on AFC Richmond beating us at the moment. To be completely
yeah. Have you watched it, Cal? I presume you have.
I haven't watched Ted Lasso. Yeah, I need to watch it. I've promised myself I'm going to watch it because it's been so ranted and raved about. But yeah, it's meant to be really, really good. I need to start watching it.
Yeah, superb. FA Cup teams are coming out. Sheffield United haven't actually sold out their end at Wembley. There's loads of empty seats at the very top. Yeah, me and you, Cal, could have gone for a Wembley day out today. Loads of empty seats. Yeah, very interesting there.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Watford. I can't remember because it was years ago, but I don't know if the Watford end at the FA Cup final was sold out. I'm highly, highly sure it was.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, I was there. I mean, it looked sold out to me. I mean, from what I remember is just us waving the flags. Actually, wait there 1 second, because you know when we all waved our flags at the end.
Yes.
I still have the flag.
Oh god, we could get a bit of a history lesson here, guys.
I've got the flag from the FA Cup final here.
That's right. Keep on flying it high.
Thank you. I've got it. I mean, it's just a yellow plastic flag, but I've still got it.
I mean, I've got I forgot if it was if we celebrated anything on that day. I think it was an anniversary of some sort. But I remember in my wardrobe, which you can probably see behind me just there, I have a black T-shirt that was given to all the fans when we played Manchester United in the Premier League. I think it was an anniversary that we celebrated.
I've got it. I've got that T-shirt.
I've got it as well.
Was it? What didn't they give that out in the Elton John stand? I
think it was an all stand. Oh wait, we got a chance here for Watford. It's a great chip. Oh, it's just wide. Oh.
I've seen that chance now. Was that Keenan Davis?
Oh man, I think Cardano came out a bit too far than he probably should have. There,
it was Ismaila Sarr actually with that chance. So Sarr, trying
to. Seen that Dollar got a hand to it as well. Dollar got a hand to it as well, so it did get tipped over. Yeah, just
good running behind by Sarr though.
It was a nice little pass there as well. It was by another person. I can't remember.
But again, look at the pace Ismaila Sarr showed in that position. He's just not done that enough this season, has he?
That's what I mean. He has the talent. You can absolutely utilize it. And that's the absolute, that's the worry I have for him. If he doesn't start utilizing that talent, number one, we won't get as much money as we paid for him, because his transfer value is just going to keep on going down and down and down. And also as well, it's detrimental to his career because he won't get that move to the Premier League that people favour him to.
He's rapid, sir. Honestly, if you get Usain Bolt in his prime against Ismaila Sarr, I reckon that race is probably closer than you'd anticipate. So quick. But again, I watch him, week in, week out. He'll go past the fullback, and instead of carrying on, he'll just stop. He'll cut back, and he'll play really negative football. And actually, he's got the pace where he can just run down the byline, whip across into the box. Then who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, frustrating to watch Ismaila Sarr not score that chip there. But at least he's trying to create something in these final 5 minutes or so. But yeah, it looks like we're going to come to, again, another defeat here, Cal. Just over 5 minutes left to go in this game. 1-0 Hull City. Former Watford player Ozan Tufan scoring. And yeah, I suppose it's the point in the stream there where we kind of sum up our thoughts in the game, really. Watford, apart from that Ismaila Sarr opportunity, haven't created much. Yeah, what have you made of the team today? And have you seen anything promising whatsoever to give you a little bit of confidence?
No, if I'm being completely honest, not really. I mean, I think it's just the fact that we actually started diverting to different topics instead of actually watching the game. Just kind of shows how much of a boring game it really was. So I've had a look at the stats here. The only shot on target that Hull have had was their goal, the penalty that Ozan Tufan took. We've had 8 shots, 2 on target. So again, and now it's 9 shots. So do 9 divided by 2.
What's the possession looking like at the moment?
We've not dominated it. It's 55-45 to us. But,
right, okay.
Yeah, so not been too bad. We've had more passes. So we've had the upper hand in the game for sure, but we've just not been clinical. We've not taken our chances at all. If you do 2 divided by 9, what's that? That's like less than 20% of our chances being taken, like shots on target being taken there. So we've just not been able to finish. And like I said, it just kind of brings it back to us, having the lack of scoring goals has been a real issue for us, and we really do need to sort that out as soon as possible. And that's all down to investment, who we can really bring in, who would try for the club in the summer. I want to quickly just update you on a few scores as well before I just tell you a bit more about the outlook of the game. Bear with me one moment. Yes, we've got obviously Hull versus Watford there, 1-0 to Hull. Coventry versus Reading still say 2-1 to Coventry. Swansea is still 3-0 up against Norwich City with a red card. You mentioned there. QPR versus Burnley is 1-1 now. Burnley have scored.
That's a shame. I really wanted QPR to win that.
It was a player that I've never heard of from Burnley. So Manuel Benson has scored.
Oh, no, I've heard of him, Benson. I think he scored a few goals for them, actually.
Yeah, then we've got Cardiff versus Stoke, still 1-1 in that game. With Bristol City and Rotherham again still 1-1 to the draw. We've got Blackpool,
Sheffield United just had a potential goal cleared off the line by Man City.
Man, that is. I'm actually switched over to that game in a minute.
Yeah,
we've got obviously Blackpool, who are quite far down the table. They're 23rd, I think, battling for their lives. Are winning against Birmingham at the moment, 1-0. And we've got Wigan, bottom of the table. Wigan are beating Millwall, who are pushing for playoffs, 2-1.
Wow. I mean, a lot of weird results happening today.
Very, very weird results. I want to quickly just say as well. I want to try and get everyone's thoughts on whether, if they're watching the Wrexham game later on, they could wrap up the title today against Boreham Wood. It's going to be very interesting.
Do you know if Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney are actually there? Because
they will be there.
Photos yet.
They definitely will be there, 100%.
You reckon?
Yeah, because I mean, hasn't Ryan Reynolds has moved now from LA to Wrexham, isn't he? He's bought a huge mansion there.
Yeah, I know he's bought a huge mansion, but the thing is with Ryan Reynolds, I suppose if he's in England, if he's in like London filming loads of films anyway, I know it's quite far to travel, but it would maybe make sense if he moved over. I love the Wrexham story. I know some people don't because what they've done is they've just injected loads of money into the club and ultimately brought players who are way too good for the National League. Watford with an opportunity here actually crossed in the box cleared by Hull. But yeah, as you say, Wrexham can win the league today. Big Ben Foster in goal as well. The vlogs are back. Have you watched any of his vlogs, Cal, or are you not that interested in Ben Foster's vlogs?
I had to watch the vlog that he did where he saved that last minute penalty.
Yeah, I did as well.
That was I saw them at the view rate on that as well was insane. It got like 1 million views in like 6 hours or something like that.
I think it's way over 2 million views at least now from when I last checked.
Definitely. I mean, it was an absolutely incredible vlog there. I mean, you don't get much better than getting a last-minute penalty that probably just won the league. But yeah, I just want to quickly update you as well. Brentford are now drawing against Aston Villa 1-1. Douglas Luiz an 87th minute goal in that game. The rest of the other Premier League results have stayed the same from what I can see. There's a red card at Everton as well. Mason Holgate in the 80th minute getting sent off there.
And what's Leicester score again? Sorry,
0-0 at the moment with Crystal Palace.
Okay,
we've then got Leicester City.
That could be a big moment in that game. Red card for Everton.
It could be, definitely. We've got Leicester City versus Wolves as well. Leicester with a big goal that could probably just take them out of the relegation zone. 2-1. Castagna with a goal. I've not seen pop up with many goals recently. Very sadly, Liverpool will be taking the win against Nottingham Forest after such a very valiant effort from them as well. 3-2, coming to the 92nd minute for them there. And that's all the updates I've got for you at this current moment.
Okay, and yeah, we're coming to the end of the Watford game. We're coming to the end of the watch along today as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, only a few minutes left to go in this Watford game. And yeah, what else do I have to say? Really, just that again, it's just very upsetting to see the club in the state it is at the moment. We shouldn't be losing to Cardiff City and Hull City on the bounce. For a team like us, for a club like us who've been in the Premier League, for so long, for the club to go in the direction it's going in now is really sad, and it's just really frustrating to watch. So again, as we mentioned earlier, fair play to everyone that travelled up to Hull City today. And yeah, I don't really have much to add. The Watford fans are still there, singing their hearts out from what I can see. And yeah, it's just a shame. Cal, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, it's just a real shame where we were last season. Almost favourites to come straight back up, and to see how badly our season's gone, how much it's spiraled, how far we spiraled down to the bottom of the table. It's been an absolute travesty of a season. I can only hope that it can get better from here on in. But with Pozzo still in charge, not making that investment. And just to really help the team the best they possibly can. It's just going to be another season in misery. I can just envision it next season. So
we just got to hope. That. You're making me feel
I'm sorry
already. Let's have a little bit of confidence. We've got Ben Manga, Cal. Surely.
Do you know what? Okay, if we be positive, we'll be positive. Do you know what? Next season, I think we're going to push for a title charge. And you know what? Why not? We're going to win. We're going to get to the Europa League. Okay. Yeah, actually, just thought quickly as we come towards the end of the game now for Watford versus Hull. We've just seen that you've pushed 702 subscribers now, so well done.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah,
road to 800 now. Let's forget that.
Road to 800 for sure. Road to 800. And also, for the 10 people that are in the chat, thank you for the 10 people that are watching right now. Thank you very much for joining in to the stream. For everyone that's joined in as well, it's been a very, very entertaining stream for sure. If we can just get that one last push to anyone that hasn't liked the stream yet to 20 likes. That'd be absolutely brilliant, just to see if we can achieve that by the end of the stream. That'd be amazing. So yeah, if you haven't pressed the like button already, see if we can try and get that to 20 likes.
Update on the poll, by the way. McDonald's or Burger King, Mackey's is winning by 70% to 30, which is the correct answer.
Oh my God, I haven't even voted on that.
What would you have gone for? I think Mackey's is superior.
I mean, there's some good options, I think. On the Burger King menu, I don't think a Whopper will ever contend against a Big Mac. That's just my personal opinion. No. It's just, yeah. Anyway, yeah, literally as soon as I said that, just a few seconds ago, we've hit 21 likes. So amazing stuff. Thank you very much for that.
Good stuff. And yeah, currently in the Man City Sheffield United game, it's 0-0. We're just waiting for the Watford game to wrap up here. Can't be too much longer to go, and then me and Cal will head off.
Just a quick score update as well. QPR have now taken the lead again versus Burnley in the dying embers. 2-1 QPR against Burnley.
That's delay Burnley's title lift. I'm happy with.
Can only wish that was us right now.
That win it's so Burnley. Sad. That could have quite easily been us, but I'm afraid it wasn't to be this year.
Yeah, I can't see it being us for a few years now, which is really, really sad. But yeah, we can only hope that if we get promoted next season, just the limbs will be insane.
Oh, it would be insane, but yeah, I just want to go back to the pond again. Thousands of Watford fans around the pond, Watford town centre, having a drink. You know what I mean? Just in the summer sunshine, lovely stuff.
That's what I was going to say, because I know you're watching it as well. In the opening 10 minutes, Sheffield apparently dominated City at the moment.
No, I wouldn't say dominated, but they've definitely had the biggest chance. Haaland got through really early on. That was blocked. Yeah, Sheffield are holding their own at the moment, actually. I do have to say, fair play. A lot of empty seats, though, at Wembley today, which is a shame. But yeah.
Seems like this will be a whole win here, which, of course, it's become the norm now over these past few games. I don't think many people are bothered because, again, we don't have much to play for now. We're not.
We're not fighting against relegation, are we? Playoffs is gone.
So I wouldn't speak too soon there, to be honest with you, mate.
Well, no, I don't think we can mathematically get relegated.
Okay, that's good. But I mean, again, it's still very under par. So under par. And that's it, full time. Yeah. Hull City 1, Watford 0. Absolute abject. But no, I mean, we're not playing for anything now. We just got to hope for a better result against Sunderland. And yeah, bit dreadful. What were your thoughts on the game there, James?
Final thoughts on the game. I've kind of said everything I need to say, really. Just, again, a bit shit. Not good. Not good from Watford at all. Very talented players on the pitch, supposedly. Again, playing like individuals. There's no communication between the players. The only big chance Watford had was the chance Sarr had, where he tried to lob Darlow in goal. As you say, he got a hand to it. So again, really irrelevant to the conversation I'm having right now. And again, even if Sarr scores that, are we really going to sit here and accept a 1-1 draw to Hull City? Probably not. So yeah, I feel very depressed. It's Saturday. The weather seems to be nice. Go and order yourselves a takeaway. Go and watch the game on TV at the moment. Man City,
Enjoy
Sheffield,
yourself.
Much better football than Watford, I can assure you. And yeah, that's all I've got to say, really. Count before we go. Anything else to add?
Well, yeah, I just want to say, a huge thanks to everyone that's joined. It's been a really successful stream today, hitting at our peak around 15 to 16 viewers. That's amazing. So hopefully we can carry that on in our next watch along, which I don't know when that is. I'm sure that's up for James to decide. But
I'm tempted to do one next Saturday just for a laugh against Sunderland.
Why not? I mean, to be fair, yeah. I mean, there's only 2 games left this season, isn't there? So yeah, we might as well just try and see if we can do it for both of them. But yeah. Yeah, really, really successful stream. Thanks to everyone that's joined along, hitting 21 likes as well. That's amazing. So yeah, huge thanks to everyone, and of course celebrating. Even though Watford lost today, there is still something to celebrate about, because we've seen Big Man James get over 700 subscribers.
Big Man James.
So, Big Man James getting 700 subscribers. That's what we love to see. So a huge thank you. It's been absolutely incredible. If you guys can also follow my account, which is where is it? Down there, the Hornets house, that'd be absolutely brilliant. I've just done a recent post of Ryan Andrews.
Which way is it? I'm backwards.
I mean, yeah, carry on going. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, so the Hornets house down below. That's my Instagram account. If you go follow that, I just posted a edit of Ryan Andrews just a few days ago. It's done amazingly well. If you haven't liked it, please do make sure you a story share would be absolutely appreciated. Any more likes, make sure you just share it around as much as you possibly can. And yeah, it's been a real motivation seeing that post do so well. Hopefully I can create some more posts. Like I said, I've got something really big planned at the end of the season, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, that's all I can really say. And thank you for having me on, James, as always.
No problem at all. And thank you so much for joining us today. It's much appreciated. Watford fall into a 1-0 defeat away at Hull City, as mentioned earlier. Fantastic support from the Watford fans who travelled. And again, if you're travelling up to Sunderland, very long trip next weekend. Absolutely fair play to you as well. And apart from that, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. Forget about Watford. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Take care, guys.